Athens, Georgia on a warm evening. Welcome to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by PlayStation 5. It's only week 2 in the SEC, but there's late season intensity. The normal packed pandemonium of Sanford Stadium has been replaced by socially distanced but still enthusiastic students and fans. Tonight's SEC game between the hedges, between top 10 old rivals, the Auburn Tigers and the Georgia Bulldogs, the oldest rivalry in the Deep South, the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week. Chris Fowler, Kirk Herbstreit, great to be together this weekend. We're looking forward to this game. Typically, they meet in November on a chilly night, and you know a lot about your own team and a lot about the opponent. Kirk, the script and the schedule has been flipped. There's a lot of question marks surrounding this game tonight.
I think so. That's really what makes this game interesting is the timing. You have two new offensive coordinators. You have both quarterbacks and offenses almost trying to find an identity with these new coordinators. Now you got this game. Tradition, the rivalry, and great defense. It's going to be a low-scoring field position kind of game, at least going in.
The intrigue starts with the Georgia quarterback position. Their quarterback room, you could write a reality TV series around it. Jake Fromm now with the Bills. Of course, Justin Fields waiting to start his season at Ohio State. Jamie Newman comes in as a touted grad transfer from Wake Forest, but then he opts out. Then it becomes a three-way competition for that starting job. Who is it going to be? JT Daniels comes from USC, get the pedigree, but not quite cleared for a knee injury until last week. So DeJuan Mathis, the big 6'6" freshman, gets the start. But Stetson Bennett comes off the bench when Mathis struggles at Arkansas. Plays well. We expect to see him tonight.
Or really a Cinderella story when you look at what he's been through throughout his journey. We'll talk about that tonight. They've been hush-hush all week. A lot of people with JT Daniels, the USC transfer, suspecting that he might be able to go tonight, but it looks like it's going to be Bennett. I just thought he settled them down last week. And right now, as we mentioned, this offense trying to find themselves, that's what they need. Just somebody that'll calm things down, be a distributor, find the open man. He's going to be challenged tonight. It gets a lot tougher against Kevin Steele in this Auburn defense.
Looking for identity, right? And neither team running the ball so far in one game like they expect to run. When Auburn gets football, we're going to look at Bo Nix. He came in as a true freshman. He was 4-4 against very tough competition, ranked opponents. He's going to be a lot better this year.
Yeah, you look at last year's game against Georgia. I mean, this guy's played in some big games. He's a true freshman last year. You know how hard it is to be a quarterback in this conference, let alone a true freshman? And he took up some criticism from some of his own fans. I think the fact he lived to tell about that experience says a lot. He comes back now as a sophomore. Even though he's only a sophomore, he's a guy that now has some experience, and I think that'll be critical tonight because he's going to go through some adversity. I think his legs and his arm have to be on fire tonight for Auburn to have a chance to come in here and win this game.
Yeah, which offense can hit their stride? It's an opening game in the SEC after a weird offseason. It's hard to find complete performances, but I think both offensive staffs expect to take a big step up tonight.
Yeah, they're going to have to. Sustaining drives will be tough. The big play tonight will be key. Who can establish a big play?
Special teams always in play, too. Auburn and Georgia for the 125th time with a 2020 wrinkle. Should still be a whole lot of fun in Athens. Kickoff coming up soon.
You're watching the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
Georgia, Auburn, this should be quite a ball game.
They call this the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Auburn and Georgia have been playing nearly every year since 1892.
A miracle in curtain hair!
And well, this one can get a little snippy.
Get away from me, man.
Taking a cue from Uga, the Bulldogs' defense is mean.
Huge defensive stand right there for the Dogs.
As Auburn knows, they need Bo to make them go.
Nix is back, throws it downfield. Touchdown, Williams!
Bo has seen Georgia before, and he's been waiting a year to finish the job.
Nowhere to go. We got a second, and the ball goes over on downs.
Somebody give me something to believe.
Come on, let's go now. Get ready for a fist fight.
If Auburn or Georgia are going to win the SEC, they got to survive a test in the Deep South tonight.
You're watching a presentation of the SEC on ESPN. Just week 2 in this conference, but late season urgency. And in this grand old rivalry, this is the 6th time these teams have collided when both are ranked in the top 10. Notice that Auburn has dominated overall, winning 4 of the previous 5, but the most recent was a big one. That was the payback win for Georgia in the SEC championship game 3 seasons ago that put the Dogs into the playoff and eventually the championship game after Gus had said we, quote, beat the dog crap out of them in the regular season meeting.
Yeah, and if you're not familiar with this rivalry, you know, even though they're in different states, a lot of these guys grew up, played in the same high school conferences, played against each other. You know, if you grew up in the western side of Georgia, southern Georgia, a lot of times you became an Auburn fan. And so this is spicy. And there's a lot of energy when these two teams get on the same field together.
A lot of energy in this place tonight. Just about 1/5 capacity, but it feels a lot crowded than that.
It's going to be fun.
We're going to see Georgia's offense and the answer to that quarterback question come very soon. Auburn to kick it away. Anders Carlson of the Carlson brothers, younger brother of Daniel, who is an Auburn legend and is now with the Raiders. He will take the run up. Time to tee it up between the hedges, between these old border rivals. And the kickoff is going to be returnable by Kenny McIntosh from the 4. Works the sidelines, a bolt of speed, shoves a man out of the way, and that's a good-looking return across the 40 for the Dogs to set up shop for their first possession. Allison Williams joins us from the sideline tonight.
Hey there, Chris. The fact that Stetson Bennett is going to start this game for Georgia is a testament to his relentless work ethic and sheer determination. There was a point during camp when he stopped getting reps at quarterback because they just had too many guys. 3 weeks ago, he sat in offensive coordinator Todd Monken's office and was told, sorry, we just don't see you as the starter here. But he would not be deterred. He just worked harder until he changed the way his teammates and eventually his coaches saw him. Guys, I watched him during warm-ups. There was a few times he looked around, smiled, took it all in as he gets ready to make his first start in the stadium he grew up coming to.
Yeah, living his dream, Allison. And from the 42, he's handing off to Zamir White on the first play. And the tailback has overcome a couple of ACLs in his career. Well, yeah, Stetson comes to Georgia, is a preferred walk-on. He played Baker Mayfield on the scout team in that playoff game. Then he took a route to Mississippi Junior College, almost won the national championship just to get playing time. Comes back, Kirk, but he's again 3rd on the depth chart here.
He came back on scholarship. He left as a walk-on, came back after junior college as a scholarship. But then you have JT Daniels coming in. You've got Jamie Newman coming in. He's 5th string a few weeks ago, and now here he is as a starter.
And he's going to throw his first pass on 2nd and 5, and it's incomplete. Tried to get the ball across to slant to John Fitzpatrick, the tight end. And here comes a 3rd down play. Sherwood in defense. And here's a look at the Chick-fil-A impact players when the Dogs have the football.
And one thing he needs to do is just get the ball out to the playmakers. Zamir White will give him balance. You'll see 3 and 4 James Cook in the backfield. Pickens, one of the best deep threats in the SEC. KJ Britt, I think the most physical inside linebacker in the country. And when Jalen Simpson is not playing, we put him on there because without him in there, you wonder if Georgia may attack his replacement, Pritchett, 14.
Redshirt freshman had a huge game against Kentucky, nursing a hamstring tonight. From the pocket, a little too much adrenaline. He overshot Fitzpatrick, the tight end, who was open down the middle. And after the nice kick return, the Dogs go 3 and out.
Yeah, I think Kevin Steele, he will dial some things up for young Stetson Bennett on 3rd down especially, giving him one look pre-snap, going to another look, trying to just confuse him as much as he can. And that time, that middle of the field opened up. Tight end was clearing. He just overthrew him.
Jake Camarda, who had a terrific opening game playing the football, averaged almost 50 yards in the 7 months at Arkansas. Christian Tutt, deep for the Tigers, and a false start. So that'll give him 5 more yards to work with.
False start. Offense, number 41. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
When a guy's waited as long as Stetson has to make this first start, you could understand the butterflies, the nerves, the adrenaline on those first couple passes.
Yeah, I mean, grew up his whole life wanting to be in this stadium, and the journey that he's been on, and now he's in this stadium starting. Yeah, the adrenaline is flowing for him.
It's different coming off the bench than being the guy, isn't it?
It's very true.
Camarda, and yet another flag pre-snap. Penalties are a problem for Georgia. They had 12 for 108. Many of them on special teams and the offense.
Yeah, that one looked like Auburn was trying to get a jump there.
False start. Offense. Number 25. 5-yard penalty. Remains 4th down.
You know what? The right, like the right guard 25 flinched just a little bit, but you see Auburn move. But look what the right guard just, his shoulder just moved. And they caught it.
Let's try this one more time. Tigers move up again. Camarda gets it away. Tutt will let it bounce into the end zone. So even though they backed him up twice on 5-yard penalties, it's a touchback. And here comes Bo Nix, of course, the son of Patrick Nix, an Auburn quarterback. He was born to play the position. We saw him against Oregon. This was the opener last year, the touchdown to Williams.
Yeah, his first game as a starter against Oregon. You and I had that game, and then he got into the SEC, ends up being the SEC Freshman of the Year, but had a lot of ups and downs. And who wouldn't, being a freshman, a true freshman playing in the SEC, and took his lumps, and now I think comes around, seeing the game a lot better, seeing coverage a lot better, and making more sound decisions.
20,000 trying to make some noise in here, and right away we're seeing the impact. 5-yard penalty. Nix, a slow start as long as the rest of this offense last week. Did have 3 touchdown passes in the second half, 2 of them to Williams.
Yeah.
Illegal snap. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
A lot of work already for James Carter. Georgia are on their feet.
Watch Georgia. The whole defensive line moves collectively, and it messed up the center. You know, he started to look at that movement, and I think he, you know, again, jitters in his game. By the way, Auburn breaking in one returning starter. Both these lines breaking in 4 new starters.
Brown at the center is their most experienced offensive line, and there you go. Another false start. That's Broderick Ham, the right tackle.
I mean, all kidding aside.
False start. Offense number 59, 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
We're at 20. Is it 20% capacity? But I'm telling you, these guys haven't had to deal with crowd noise. You know, I mean, you normally come in here and it's full, but this is a new offensive line. They probably cranked up the crowd noise in practice, but you get out here, you're seeing different colored jersey, and you can't hear the snap count. You're on the edge of that defense. You get a little nervous. Plus, Georgia's moving around.
So it's 1st and 20. Nix gets the ball out quickly to Anthony Schwartz in the flat, but the Dogs close it down and limit him to a 1-yard gain. The speedster couldn't get going. Here's the Chick-fil-A impact players when the Tigers have the football.
Again, this is going to be a low-scoring field position kind of game. So what can Auburn do with Bo Nix around him? He's got Seth Williams and also Anthony Schwartz on the edge, 18-1. Monty Rice, the leader in that front 7, and Eric Stokes, 27. Very, very fast. Had a big interception last week.
3 receivers, bunch to the right, 2nd and 18, and they hand it off inside. And that's a guy that's going to be counted on to play a big role tonight. The true freshman Tank Bigsby out of LaGrange, Georgia. He was #1 on their running back recruiting board. Because Sean Shivers is nicked up tonight, we're going to see the young guy.
Yeah, and here's an example. Look at Bigsby. He's from the state of Georgia, but ended up going to Auburn. That's a classic example of this rivalry. And you're right, 5-star. Could have gone about anywhere in the country. Decides to go to Auburn. So this may be an opportunity for him to show his fan base how good he really is.
He's out, empty backfield, 5 wide look on 3rd and 9. Dogs standing up and moving around on defense.
Yeah, we're on a really effective communication of that offensive line and the pass protection.
Here comes the rush. Nix is flushed, escapes, looking downfield, delivers a ball high. It was off the hands of a defender. Dangerous, but it falls to the ground, incomplete. That was Tyreek Stevenson who got a big hand up.
Yeah, look at the left side of this. The 3rd down, you're going to see a lot of this. The center actually moves to his right, so you have 2 offensive linemen trying to pick up 3 Georgia defenders. Communication will be affected by the crowd noise and the movement of Georgia. Bo Nix athletic enough to get away there from the pressure, but he's going to be dealing with that a lot. That time Adam Anderson came clean, 19.
So both defenses aggressive. Both offenses rattled in the early going, and it's the Tigers who go 3 and out. And it's Oscar Chapman from Australia, Kurt. You guessed it. And the former semi-pro Aussie football player delivers a punt. And it's Kieris Jackson who's dropped after a short return.
It used to be the teams have an Aussie punter. Now does anybody not
win it? Second possession for the Dogs coming up.
Introduce.
Look from the AT&T 5G Skycam. You can check out the AT&T 5G Skycast. Available this week on ESPNU and also streaming live on ESPN3 and the app. Well, the replay crew looking at what might be a potential targeting on that last punt by Auburn. See right there, the helmet is lowered on the hit against Kieris Jackson, and that's Smoke Monday. They use their starting safety on special teams, and he definitely lowered the head and went helmet to helmet.
And he is a coach on the field. That's a direct quote from Kevin Steele, the defensive coordinator. I mean, he is a valuable player for this team on the road in this kind of environment, in a rivalry game.
You know, he's a big part of their kickoff coverage team. When you use starters on special teams, as Gus Malzahn does, Kurt, this is the risk.
Yeah.
You could lose them in a play like this and really hurt your defense in several ways. Of course, Auburn had a 100-yard pick six by Roger McCreary taken off the board last week by a targeting call in the middle of the return against Kentucky. That was on Derek Hall. It was in the first half, so he did not miss action tonight. Here's the verdict from James Carter and the replay folks. It's a penalty. It'll move the ball into Auburn territory. Georgia's second possession, and they'll lose, as you said, the quarterback in the secondary.
The punt play was reviewed for a targeting foul. Number 21 of the kicking team, personal foul targeting. Number 21 will be disqualified. We have a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, Georgia.
That is a significant loss. That's why you see the reaction from Gus Malzahn.
You mentioned Jalen Simpson being out already. They're shorthanded in that secondary.
And this is a secondary that's breaking in 4 new starters, and we're at week 2, and they're in their first real game and getting challenged. And now the guy that you can count on is getting everybody lined up. The quarterback or the coach of that secondary has now been taken out of the game.
Meanwhile, Georgia now sets up at the 43 of Auburn. The first possession that they get at their own 43, went 3 and out. And a chance to grab the lead here.
And Kevin Steele, he puts a lot of nickel with 5 defensive backs. He'll put dime with 6. This will really impact what he likes to do with his exotics when they get into those third down situations. Looks like right now 15 Peters, who's a senior, has played a lot of football, is in there to replace Smoke Monday.
Monday, a playmaker. He had the pick 6 in the Iron Bowl. Out. On the pop pass, here comes Schwartz. And the world-class sprinter shows some patience, picks his way, and it's a nice first down gain inside the 40.
And a really good call by Todd Monken, recognizing that they have a chance to get to the edge. There's a mismatch in the trenches. Georgia's big, but they don't move well on that offensive line. They've got to get to the edge to pick up positive yards, especially early in this running game. Who better to give it than to Pickens?
Yeah, it's
they steal the edge.
Not the number one of the other guys, Pickens. The former Auburn commit, by the way.
Yeah.
He was held in check by the Tigers in last year's meeting, so he wants to make a big impact tonight. They hand it off inside. This is McIntosh spinning, and he's got a first down yardage near the 30.
Yeah, he showed great patience there. That's something that they want to see these backs continue to do. Trust the blocks. You know, last week this running game only averaged 2.8 yards and really didn't get it going until the second half when Bennett came in. This job of kind of tiptoeing his way through there.
Bennett looking to throw on first down the middle, broke it up nicely, and getting a hand in was Jordan Peters.
Just talked about Peters coming in and how they would miss Smoke Monday. Peters has played a lot of football, and you know, a lot of times he'll play that nickel, but watch him in coverage at the top of your screen. 15, he's waiting on that crosser, sees it, anticipates it, and then he's able to get that right arm in there to be able to dislodge that football.
1 for 4 start for Bennett in his initial start. James Cook is the back, and they fake it to him, and a miscommunication. Running the route there was the true freshman Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint, but not on the same page as Bennett.
Yeah, and you know, that time they brought a blitz, and Stetson thought, hey, we got a blitz. McQuarrie's coming 23 from his right, and as soon as he sees that, he's thinking side adjust. Let's get it out. And the freshman receiver not on the same page with Stetson.
So the Dogs in danger of squandering this great field position. Face a 3rd and 10. 6 of 20 on 3rd down in the opening game.
Pickens here, and you see now there comes pressure. See how they're kind of trying to affect the communication of the pass protection, showing blitz, and they're coming. Looks like they're going to come.
Pressure is on. Bennett flushed immediately, running for his life, tries to make something happen, and throws a strike. Completes to Kearis Jackson down at the Auburn 15.
Well, he saw the pressure from his right, but what maybe he didn't see is Big Cat Bryant coming from his left. But that's why he's playing tonight. Ability to create, make a play, athletic enough to get away from that pressure, and then is able to locate a receiver downfield for the first down. Well, that was a great play considering Big Cat Bryant comes free, and he's able to get away from him and keep his poise and his vision downfield.
He didn't make the play. It's a sack and probably a punt. As it is, they're set up in first down on 15. So Bennett trying to settle in, makes his first big play of the night. Timeout on the field with the Dogs threatening the Auburn 15.
ESPN College Football is presented by PlayStation 5. Play has no limits. And in part by Midas, open since 1956.
Pat Dye, a 2-time All-American lineman at Georgia. Of course, when he went and coached Auburn for 7-5 against his alma mater, passed away at age 80 in the spring. He was at every practice. Gus Malzahn said he was a constant presence, so Gus paid tribute to him with the Pat Dye outfit at the opener last week.
I thought that was great.
He was remembered before the game tonight. So Auburn spends the time out on defense to get organized as the Dogs have it 1st and 10 at the 15. White shows patience and picks his way for about a 6-yard first down gain.
Yeah, we talked about Smoke Monday being out. Just to give you an idea, Georgia went with an unusual formation. The reason they called that timeout, looks like we got a tempo here by Georgia again. Same formation, trips into the boundary.
They get it to Jackson, that time flying up to make the play there was Sherwood. It's a loss.
Well, they called a timeout when we went to break because they had that same formation. They didn't get lined up without Smoke Monday to help them get lined up and recognize that. They kind of panicked and called timeout. They go over and talk to Kevin Steele. Hey, next time they go trips into the boundary, we're going to do this and do this. And exactly what happened there. That time Sherwood, who's an elite safety in this conference, anticipated that throw and makes a great play.
That 17-yard pass in the last 3rd and long. They need 7 here. Bennett has time, delivers it. White makes the catch and fights for a 1st and goal. So Zamir White makes an impact as a receiver, the guy they call Zeus.
First down for the Dogs.
Playing fast again, 1st and goal. Zeus has got the football and he's going to get nothing. Actually fought for a yard. Good forward progress.
Yeah, Georgia giving Auburn some of their own medicine. You think of Auburn, you think of Gus Malzahn. Watch Kenny Britt in the middle kind of stumble on this 3rd down. He's getting back. He's got his eyes where they need to be. Kind of loses his balance just a bit. And it gave the back out of the backfield White enough room there to catch the ball and then get upfield for the 1st down.
Ball just outside the 1-yard line on 2nd and goal.
And Auburn, 2 red zone takeaways last week.
Out of the I formation, a play they've run 1,000 times at Georgia, and it's Zeus finding the end zone, and Georgia jumps on top.
Chris, they bring Jordan Davis in. I think they have 2 99s. I'm going to assume it's Jordan Davis because when you see this block, it can only be Jordan Davis. The nose guard, the starting nose guard, they bring in short yardage and goal line situations. 6'6", 320, playing the tight end on the left side. Wait till you see this block.
One of the leaders of that defensive group. You know, they love to make an impact on offense. Jack Podlesny, the new kicker, knocks it through.
You got the fullback that's going to help out in the backfield. He's also a defensive lineman. He's going to come out here and block. And then you got the tight end coming down. Both these guys are defensive linemen. And watch their blocks. Boom and boom. It opened it up. Made it very easy to walk in for a touchdown. Great job of opening up a hole. And Georgia gets on the board.
Bennett had the big scramble incompletion to keep the drive alive. And that's more like it, he says. After the targeting set him up at the plus 43. It took them 10 plays, but they find the end zone.
Well, they have started the 42 and their 43-yard line, their 2 drives. Auburn's first drive deep in their own territory. Again, it's going to be a game where it's tough to sustain drives. Who gets the short field will ultimately be the team who's going to win this football game.
Bo Nix on the sidelines there on the bench, towel over his head, looked a little disgusted with the execution of his offense, and you can understand why. In their first possession, a couple penalties backed him up from 1st and 20. He didn't have much of a chance. Now they get the football back down 7.
Last week it was Georgia's offense that did a lot of that around Dwan Mathis, kind of self-destructing with penalties and miscues. And that first drive, you're right, it was Auburn.
Tennyson and Bigsby deep for Auburn.
Kicker they call Pod. He's got big shoes to fill. And scooted to the end zone. It'll be a touchback. Update in the studio from Matt Berry. Matt?
Chris, good evening. Checking in on Mississippi State. Mike Leach, week 2, SEC. KJ Costello coming off a record performance. Gets picked off by Greg Brooks Jr. Woo Pig's first pick 6 since 2016. They take the lead 7-0. Back come the Bulldogs. Costello to Javonte Payton. Plenty of time, plenty of scrambling, plenty of arm. Right now we're tied at 7 apiece. Chris and Kirk.
Scoring is not done there. We'll keep an eye on that one. Yeah. The Pirate, is it sustainable in the SEC? Tigers from the 25. Second possession. Nix took a look and then takes off and rushes up the middle for about 2 yards. Jordan Davis, the blocker, and that touchdown made the tackle.
Yeah, and this Auburn offense now led by Chad Morris. Remember, Gus Malzahn calling the plays, going back to calling the plays a year ago. He went out and hired Chad Morris in the offseason. And they're trying to still kind of find themselves as an offense with Chad Morris. Didn't have spring ball, very limited in camp like all the offenses, but it's a new scheme, and they're trying to figure it out.
A lot less running, more downfield throwing in the opening win. Nix again. Takes off, runs into heavy traffic, hesitated, and it's going to be 3rd and long again. Nolan Smith, the linebacker position on the stop there.
How good is the leverage of this defense? It's hard to run inside. Watch on the outside how they maintain their leverage. Tough to get to the outside, so you got to go in there where all those big bodies are. Nolan Smith that time forced him back inside, and you've got behemoth defensive lineman Jordan Davis, 6'6", 320, playing in the inside there.
DJ Williams is the back. He motions out now on 3rd and 9. Dogs bring some late pressure. Nix on the run again. Scanning the field, throws back across his body, and it was too high. Tried to get the ball to Williams out of the backfield, but another 3 and out for the Tigers offense.
Yeah, this offensive line, these first 2 series, not on the same page on 3rd down. That time they let Adam Anderson, 19 to the right, just come free. Just didn't pick him up at all. Ham, the right tackle, he came down, and it freed up 19 to get immediately into the backfield and forced Bo Nix to have to scramble out wide.
You mentioned this rebuilt offensive line. They're not exactly young. These guys have been around, but not a lot of starting experience. Georgia coaches love the matchup. Their D-line against the Auburn O-line, and so far, you see why. And there is the punt, a high one by Chapman, and it's fair caught. And once again, Georgia will have good field position from the 37-yard line, up 7-0.
Carolina.
Tonight's fighting spirit moment brought to you by Modelo. There's the scramble by Bennett, the completion to Jackson on 3rd and long, to set him up and scoring position.
Yeah, that was the big play. Then they got their tempo going, and picked up another first down on a third down play there, and then eventually powered their way into the end zone. And Bennett starting to settle into this game, feeling good.
James Cook is the back. And it was the third straight Bulldogs possession in good field position, and he's got the football. And this is Dalvin Cook's brother arrived with a lot of hype out of Miami. Had a fumble last week, still waiting to kind of find his stride.
He is. Todd Monken, who's a new offensive coordinator now for Georgia, he likes to see these holes opening up because we didn't see a lot of that last week. I think they were panicked a little bit, thinking, what's going on up front? Very little push against Arkansas. And in the early going here, I think we've seen a better performance by the offensive line than we saw all game last week.
Arkansas, a poor rush defense a year ago. Dogs averaged less than 3 yards a carry, which is very un-Georgia-like, but Cook with the carry for a first down at midfield.
Yeah, I think they're right now with great field position. There's just a belief and a confidence that you can almost feel from up here on this entire Georgia team.
This field is level, right? Because it feels extremely tilted.
It sure does.
Lower on the left end. High snap, Bennett's got it, and he hands off inside to Cook again as they try to work on the middle. Big difference for Auburn. You don't have Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson, the two studs, off to the NFL.
Yeah, guys that are playing and doing very well at the next level, but they still have a lot of talent. They still have great bodies. You have Kevin Steele, but right now they're a bit on their heels, you know. And Stetson Bennett, he runs some zone read. He's sneaky. He'll pull it and get down behind those defensive ends if they collapse. You start running the ball like this, that's when play action really starts to come into play.
White's back in the ball game, and he picks his way for another run, barreling inside the 30, and the Dogs having their way with that Auburn front so far.
Yeah, look at the right side here. Ben Cleveland, 74, does a good job kind of collapsing down. See that nice block and a great patience that time by White. Just kind of waited, jump cut, and then explodes through the hole. But let's, again, make sure we're giving that Georgia offensive line a ton of credit. They look very, very different from how they played a week ago.
Matt Luke, the new offensive line coach, was the Ole Miss head coach for a few years. First down, they hand it off inside to White. Why not? They get a nice push, and they get about 4 on first down. Here's the Dogs up front.
They are big, but if you really watched the tape and studied them last week, they looked big and slow is what stood out. I mean, they did not move well, and the concern coming into tonight to me was, even though Auburn has some new faces from Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson, they're quick and they're very aggressive. But man, give Georgia credit for taking the attack to them in this first quarter.
There's a throw near side, Demetrius Robertson. Last year, for him to make an impact, he had that all-American freshman season at Cal in the spread offense. Hasn't been super productive here yet.
Yeah, and a big part of the growth of Georgia this year, and I think we're going to see that. I would say right now the strength of this team would be the running backs and the depth they have. I think in 3 or 4 weeks, it's going to be the improvement on the perimeter. It's not just going to be George Pickens. You're going to see others emerge, especially Jermaine Burton, number 7, who I think has a chance to have a great freshman year. There he is in motion.
On 3rd and 2, Bennett still has the ball under pressure, delivers a strike. Jackson goes down low to make the catch again, and the Dogs are knocking on the door at the 4.
All kinds of time. A good job by White off of the play fake. Does a good job of picking up and giving Stetson Bennett just enough time. That's a crosser, and it takes time for the receiver to come from the right all the way to the left, especially on 3rd and short. But the pass protection held up, including the back White, and Bennett throws it well again.
It's an Auburn defense that struggled on 3rd down against Kentucky. Cats converted 12 times on 3rd down, and Georgia's already 3 of 4 tonight. On 1st and goal, high snap, Bennett looking for the end zone, but it's over the wrong shoulder. Dogs fans wanted a flag. Jermaine Burton, the freshman, was the receiver out there.
Yeah, and when you get out there as a receiver, depending on the leverage of the corner, the ball could be thrown either to your outside or over to the corner. And that time Bennett saw, hey, you got him to the corner. I'm going to throw you to the corner. I'm not going to bring you back. And again, that's a true freshman. That's who I just was talking about. So much upside with Burton. I think he's going to complement Pickens, but that time just not on the same page. They didn't read the same thing there.
That's what Kirby's explaining to the beginning now, right there. 2nd and goal. Bennett rolls, looks for the end zone, almost intercepted. Coming back to break the ball up was Roger McCreary, the corner who's counted on to play a big role tonight.
He plays this very, very well against Pickens, but the ball is thrown to the inside. You want to throw that ball to the bushes, the hedges out there, as far away as you can from that defender. The last place you want to throw that is to the inside.
Pickens had to play DB. He did. Receiver reached an arm in there to break up the potential interception. And it's 3rd and goal. James Cook moves to the slot. 5 receiver look. Tigers bring pressure. Bennett has time. Gets it out. Incomplete. Try to get it to the flat. To Jackson again.
Boy, it's a great play. They spread them out. 5 receivers. Everybody's isolated. And how about this play? I mean, inside leverage, recognizing that the ball is going to be thrown, and goes airborne to make this play. 20 has such a bright future. The progressive pylon cam right there shows you extend and knock that away. That's big. Cannot afford to get down 2 touchdowns.
He's 6'2", sure, with a long wingspan. So the chip shot field goal is knocked through by Lesney, and the Dogs stretch the lead to 10-0. 2 methodical drives. That time 11 plays, 59 yards, just short of 4 minutes. It's been all Georgia with the field position. Auburn's offense that made a first down yet, and they're in a 10-point hole. Great lineup of events in the next few days here tonight on ESPN after the game. UFC Fight Night. ABC has Game 2 of the WNBA Finals tomorrow afternoon. Then tomorrow night, Game 3 of the NBA Finals as the Heat continue their long uphill fight against LeBron and the Lakers. Falcons-Packers on Monday Night Football from Lambeau Field, the undefeated Green Bay Packers.
Aaron Rodgers just keeps going. I mean, it's just incredible the way he performs at such a high level for how many years at this point. It's
doubt him, and that just lights a fire. It always has, ever since he was at Cal.
Fun to watch.
Well, Nixon's going to go back on the field for the 3rd possession, but they're in a 10-point hole. Their offense has been a little bit scattered. The atmosphere here has given them problems.
I feel like they've been almost in survival mode. They've had bad field position. Their defense, which you rarely see, has not been the aggressor. They've been a bit on their heels. And the field position, I think, has played a big part of why I think we feel that way. They need a return here. They got to get the ball and get their tempo going and become aggressive.
But Leslie doesn't usually allow too many returns. Let's see if Bigsby wants to bring it out. He does not. Dallas Williams.
Well, Chris, Bo Nix and Chad Morris have been locked hip to hip every time they've been on the sideline here, trying to work through some of these issues offensively. And that's something that Morris really emphasized with Bo. He said, I have enough confidence in him. I know that I can trust him to tell me what he's seeing, what's getting jumbled, what's confusing for him. So there's a lot of back and forth there in that relationship. And it's a relationship that was really established, like so many things in 2020, over Zoom. A lot of late night Zoom conversations, breaking down film, especially of Deshaun Watson. Bo wanted to see how he developed in Morris's system, so he gave him a ton of cut-ups to show him the progressions that Deshaun was able to start going through, and that's kind of that next step for Bo here.
You get the ball to Schwartz in the flat. He's got a running start. He flashes the speed briefly, picks up about 9. Yeah, Nix, of course, not only a player's son, a coach's son. His dad, Patrick, a high school coach. He's just chews on football.
Yeah. I mean, he's one of those guys that he's a gym rat. He's over there at the facility studying film if he's not working on schoolwork. But they're starting to spread this. Now they're looking to try to spread Georgia out. See if they can create some lanes, whether they're vertical lanes or just trying to get out in some space to make plays.
You got a 300-pounder set out wide right. J.J. Pegues, the tight end. They're looking back to the other side, and it's juggled and caught. Bigsby came up with it on the carom, first down at the 45.
That was tough. Monty Rice read that, really thought that ball might be coming out. 32, almost gets his hand on. He actually, I think he did get a finger maybe on that ball. What an effort there by the true freshman Bigsby to stay focused and catch that football. Again, they go to that same formation, trying to spread the Georgia defense out.
2-by-2 stack. They hand it off inside to Bigsby. Finally Off the momentum of a first down, let's see if that can spark this offense. That was Jordan Davis in the tackle for Georgia.
Nothing worse when you try to run a counter and the two guys that are pulling around, they're supposed to have kind of a clean track to run around and try to get some momentum going, and they're running into red jerseys. It's not a good feeling for that running back when he gets the ball in his hands and he's got nowhere to run except up the back of the jerseys of his own linemen.
Second and 9. It's Bigsby testing the middle again and shows some lean and some strength. It'll set up 3rd and 3. Back to Matt quickly.
Yeah, quickly with LSU taking on Vanderbilt, trying to get that offense going a little bit, and this will help. Miles Brennan, Jontre Kirkland. Watch the good footwork down the line. Oh, Ed Orgeron said he didn't want any loafs this week. Didn't get one there. 7-0 Tigers early.
In a couple of weeks. So Bigsby motions way out to the right here. They need 3 on this 3rd down. Nix is looking that direction. Launches downfield. Schwartz can't come up with it. They double-teamed him. Uncatchable. Interesting call on 3rd and 3.
Yeah, they had some momentum going on this drive, and 3rd and short, and it's just kind of a throwaway here. I mean, he got some pressure, but just kind of a throwaway, and play never has a chance.
Now, is it going to be a pooch punt by Bo Nix, who did that a couple of times?
If nothing else,
are they going to go for it?
It can flip the field, if nothing else.
It's one of his specialties. He's pretty good at knocking it down there. The Dogs have 11 guys up. No, now LeCount's going to drop back. Just in case it's a pooch. Or is Malzahn feel like gambling down 10? They're trying to draw Georgia offside. It hasn't worked so far, and it doesn't work. They moved around, but the Dogs too disciplined.
The layup game. Offense.
You know,
5-yard penalty.
Now they watched Bo Nix on film last week and what he did with the pooch punt, and you know they weren't fooled at all, but they moved around a little bit, tried to jump, and they knew all along they're going to punt. The best thing they can do down 10 is finally try to push Georgia back deep into their own territory. It's the first quarter.
Chapman, the Aussie. It's his responsibility here. Finally make Georgia start from close to their own goal line. Been able to call plays pretty freely. 2 productive drives. That's not what he's looking for. The Aussie boots it with backspin, and the fair catch made out of the 16 by Kieris Jackson. On this beautiful night, aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Keep driving from the first kickoff to the final whistle. Goodyear, more driven.
Still kind of scratching my head on that 3rd down call. Low percentage throw. He got flushed, but you know, I would have thought they would have tried to get the ball to the edge with Schwartz. We've not even, up to this point, I don't think we've called Seth Williams' name yet.
No.
And I think he's one of the most gifted receivers in the SEC, 18. We'll see at some point. I'm sure they're going back to the drawing board trying to figure out how do we get the ball to 18.
He burned Georgia in the loss last year. 13 catches by Williams for 121 yards, and haven't looked in his direction yet. White into heavy traffic, does well to fall forward. Truesdale stopped him, but he picked up about 3.
Very surprised that they're having such success running into the teeth of the Auburn defense. You know, Kenny Britt, they call him downhill Britt because of how quickly 33 will come down into the teeth of that offense when they try to run the ball. But we've seen that line do a good job of climbing up and taking him out so far.
It's got it again, and this time Britt fills in the position, and it's going to be 3rd down.
I mean, if you're an old school SEC fan, this is like a game from the 80s or 90s. I mean, this is old. We need Takeo Spikes in here playing. I mean, this is like just old school grass stains. We're going to just put our big shoulder pads on, and we're going to hit each other. You know, enough of this spreading it out and throwing it 80 times like Mississippi State. This is old school SEC here.
Well, it's been a run-to-win series, right? We wondered which offense could get the running game going, and so far it has been Georgia. 113 rushing yards in the first quarter. 3rd and 4. Bennett takes his time and delivers a strike to Jackson. He's been the man on the receiving end of all the big passes tonight, and it's a first down out near the 39.
Good job by Bennett, working through the progression and eventually coming to his last option there in Jackson over the middle. You know, he thought about throwing out to the back, out to his left, but it was taken away by the corner, so he had enough time and eventually picks up the first down.
End of the first quarter here in Athens. It's been all Georgia. 2 long scoring drives and suffocating defense against Bo Nix and the Auburn offense. Back after these messages. You're watching the SEC on ESPN.
Can't wait to tell everyone.
Set for the second quarter in Athens. The ESPN College Football Primetime presented by PlayStation 5. This presentation of the SEC on ESPN. Folks here, socially distanced but fired up. They're making a difference.
Yeah, I agree.
Georgia's offense begins the second quarter after gaining 130 in the opening quarter. Evenly split, 65 ground, 65 air. Play action on first down. Bennett flips it short, and catch is made. It's Jermaine Burton, freshman.
Chris, when you get the running game going, the play action will work. He just kind of flashed it, but there's a separation and the speed from Jermaine Burton. Everybody wants to see who can be a complement to George Pickens. I think it's 7.
And there's the tempo. No huddle. There's a slant. It was really well defended. Jordan Peters was right there against Jackson, but accurate. See, Auburn's defense, they realize they're going to have to step up here and make a play. They're going to have to change the equation, especially with their offense struggling early. They need to get a takeaway.
Sure do.
Britt on the sidelines now, hunched over. It's the guy they cannot afford to lose in that defense.
Oh, that's the alpha. That's the leader of the defense, especially in the front. Smoke Monday already out for targeting.
Second and 3. Cook breaks the tackle, and they move the sticks again. Sherwood wrestled him down, but it's a first down inside the 35.
That was a slow developing counter play, and Cook's able to get right in behind Cleveland and the fullback Fitzpatrick. And again, this Georgia offensive line moving people around, making it easier for these backs, both White and Cook, to be able to get just a little bit of room to operate.
You praised him, but we can't say enough about this Georgia offensive line that lost 2 first-round tackles to the draft.
Okay.
Had Cade Mays transfer to Tennessee recently. White and Cook have been running tough, but there have been holes up front. And there's another carry by Zeus, a nice first down gain.
I mean, Ben Cleveland, the right guard, has played a lot, but technically he wasn't a starter last year. He rotated in from time to time, but really Trey Hill, the center, the only returning starter. You're working with 4 new offensive linemen, trying to build continuity, and such an important aspect of offensive line play is getting to a point where you trust one another. You understand as the defensive linemen are bouncing around pre-snap, linebackers are coming up showing blitz, that you have a trust with that guy next to you.
It's fun for Todd Monken to call plays when it's 2nd and 5 every time. Out of the pistol, it's White again. Man, he's just running hard. The confidence just is building. These backs are excited about what they're seeing up front. It's another first down.
Yeah, another good job of moving that Auburn defensive front 7, pushing them back, and good hard running by the backs. You know, the guy we're not talking a lot about really is the quarterback, Stetson Bennett, which is such an incredible story. I just love the way he's playing with poise. That's the thing with this offense. You don't have to be a superstar. Just kind of a point guard. Just get the ball to the playmakers and make good checks, get out of a bad play into a good play. Yep. But man, right now he's playing with great poise.
He's been clutch when he's had to be. Mostly it's doing this. Handed the football off. White that time limited gain on first down.
But on third downs, he's been pretty much on. I mean, I think he's 4 of 6 with 4 first downs when he's been in those third down situations. And a couple times Auburn's come clean and he's been able to scramble and get away from pressure. I mean, it's just right now it's just kind of all working for Georgia.
It's impressive off the bench. When they tried to blitz him, it didn't really work. He was 7 of 8 against the blitz. as a relief pitcher last week. That's not normal stuff for a college quarterback who's not played a lot.
You got Pickens now at the top, one-on-one. Now you see the cushion there now.
McIntosh is the back.
You should take that. You get Pickens one-on-one.
Bennett looked back the other way. Hit as he throws. It's a high throw over the head of Burton and in the vicinity of McLean, who pressured him.
Yeah, the pressure by McLean, who's really one of the faster linebackers that you'll see. But boy, he looks out there, he sees Pickens, and then McQuarrie comes to the inside. You don't see number one left alone very often. He's one-on-one. He's that kind of receiver. You want to go to him.
Top line receivers for both offenses have been quiet so far. Cook motions out, 3rd and 9. They look that direction. They throw the ball up in the air. Right on cue. Caught. Touchdown. George Pickens beat McCrary, and the Dogs stretched the lead. Well, they saw what you saw, Kirk, and they made it look very easy over there.
Yeah, you get him one-on-one. You got to believe in your guy that he's going to win. Motion actually moves the safety and creates the one-on-one. The safety was on the hash where you could double-team Pickens, but once they moved that back out of the backfield, it opened it up. I thought they might go at the play before, but they saw it upstairs and went right back to number one, who wins and gets the separation. And how about the ball by our guy, Stetson Bennett, for the touchdown?
Pickens makes an impact play against Auburn. He was an Auburn commit, one of those guys that on signing day pulled out a Georgia hat and put it on and surprised the fan bases on both sides. Held in check again in Georgia's win over the Tigers a year ago. But the diving touchdown reception, and Georgia, with the way that defense is playing, 17-0 lead, early second, looks pretty imposing. Beautiful pylon cam look at the touchdown reception.
Carolina Chevy dealer.
Tomorrow morning, NFL Countdown. The quarterback whisperer Bruce Arians talks about what he's imparted at Tom Brady, the guy who coached Manning and Roethlisberger and Andrew Luck and others, plus injury updates. And then Monday Night Football from Lambeau Field. Talked about the 3-0 Packers against the Falcons, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Well, the Deep South's oldest rivalry, Kirk's, featured lots of chapters, comebacks when one team looked to be totally out of it, then they would get a spark and come back and win, and Auburn's going to have to summon some of the ghosts to try to get this thing going. Bigsby hit hard, wrestled down at the 21-yard line, down to Allison.
Well, this Auburn offense is trying to take off, but that hasn't been a problem for center Nick Brahms. He is, in fact, a pilot. He is in the professional aviation program at Auburn, inspired by his dad, who was a Delta pilot for 25 years, served in the Air Force as well. He has an absolute love for aviation. Even though it can get a little bit scary at times, he went through a training drill where he had to fly with one of the engines off. I asked him, is that not terrifying? He said, no, it's the most fun I've ever had flying. It's such an adrenaline rush. I said, what's more, get your blood flowing more, playing in front of 80,000 or flying by yourself? He said both. It's just a very different type of adrenaline.
Yeah, still does it 3 days a week, very early in the morning. Good stuff, Allison. He better get the offense off the ground here. Nick's looking deep for Schwartz, just over the outstretched arm of the sprinters. They try to finally stretch the defense.
You and I did a glider one time out of Colorado Springs. Man, that was not fun. I don't know how he does that. Well, they finally do try to stretch the field. Schwartz, keep in mind, I think he's the fastest player in college football. And one time in track, 10:07 100-meter dash, and they try to get behind coverage. He did. Just not able to hit that from Bo Nix.
Brief jersey grab by DJ Daniel, not enough to warrant a flag in the official's opinion. So on 2nd and 10, Nix pump fakes to the left, fakes to the right, and throws it across the middle to the big 300-pound tight end, J.J. Pegues, who makes his first career reception.
Trying to show screen to the right, try to get the defense out of position, then come back to the middle where the big tight end is. Pegues is 300 pounds. There's our pilot trying to find a red jersey to hit. 3rd down's been good to Stetson Bennett. It's been tough on Bo Nix. 0 for 3 so far tonight.
Just needs 6 yards to try to get something going and keep that defense off the field. There's some early urgency for Auburn here. Nix looking for a man, throws out the back foot, and again miscommunication. Schwartz couldn't fight back to the ball. Warren Brinson on the pressure, 4th down again.
You know, this is an area that he's trying to improve. Tell me why he needs to get out of the pocket here. It's 3rd down. Look at the pocket. There's no need to go out here. If anything, step up. He's getting out of there without any pressure, and that's impacting this offensive line and what they're trying to do. Once he gets out and he bails to the right, he takes away potential receivers that he can throw the ball to, especially on 3rd down.
That's an area that he's worked hard to improve upon. All those Zoom calls with Chad Morris we talked about, but it is not translated tonight at all on the road. Chapman's punt, fielded at the 15. And a short return for Jackson has been the busiest receiver. 5 catches already for Jackson. Bennett and the Dogs back to work, up 17.
Or online.
ESPN College Football, presented by PlayStation 5, is brought to you by Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
The prayer at Jordan Hare off a hand. Tigers, one of the most memorable victories in their history. May need a prayer today because it's not gotten off to a good start. And Bo Nix in that offense looking very frustrated. Defense back out here again, knowing they got to do something to turn the momentum.
Boy, it's been a balanced attack for Georgia and Todd Monken. 34 plays, 16 runs, and 18 passes. Balanced as Auburn's defense, which is tough to do, on their heels and frustrated.
Auburn has run 14 plays so far. Just the one first down. Cook runs left, crease, stiff arm, and he's tackled at the 45-yard line. Back to Matt Berry.
All right, guys, just checking on a couple of updates. That LSU offense getting going a little bit. Brennan this time to Terrace Marshall with all the defections. Don't forget Marshall is back. However, Vanderbilt has just scored 14-7 LSU. Rematch of the ACC Championship. Clemson, Virginia. This one a little closer for now. Travis Etienne, great effort. Clemson up 10-0 early on Virginia.
Clemson home against Miami next Saturday night on ABC. Cook left the game. They're looking at his right hand. So it's Zamir White back in there on 1st down. And there's a false start. Pickens got a little antsy in that right slot.
False start. Offense, number 1, 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
So we saw a lot of that last week, right? I mean, that first half for Georgia, and again, it's first game, but they were behind the sticks almost the whole first half. And again, Dwan Mathis was the quarterback for a lot of that, but that's not his fault. I mean, they're 1st and 15. Seemed like every opening drive, 1st and 20 with a holding call. We've not seen any of that. The rhythm is there tonight, and the balance is there.
2-back look. McIntosh joining White in the backfield. 1st and 15.
And Auburn trying to get on the same page defensively. They finally get lined up right.
Britt was trying to direct traffic. He was trying to move Jaron Handy around.
Yeah.
We're going to take Cook into the locker room to check out that right hand. Injured it on the run.
Prior to the play clock running out, timeout, Georgia. First time charged out of the half.
That's what happened. Cook delivered the stiff arm on the end of that run. And holding up for dear life was Sherwood. Kind of an awkward landing there.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the landing or the actual stiff arm itself.
It was a forceful stiff arm.
Yeah.
So Georgia trying to build this lead. 8:42 before halftime. Already 207 yards of offense. As you said, complete balance in the play call and in the yards gain. And great success on 3rd down when Bennett has had to make plays he has.
Yeah, and when they've gotten pressure, he's gotten away from it. But a lot of times it's just been poise, back in the pocket, working through his progressions, finding them, first down, 5 of 7, 5 first downs. He's gone downfield. That was a 3rd and 9, by the way, when they took that shot and hit Pickens. I love his poise that he plays with.
You know, a lot of people have told him you're not good enough, and his reaction every time has been, what do you know? He's got a strong belief himself, doesn't he?
Got a chip on his shoulder, which I like.
He's got a lot of time for the pocket, and he's looking downfield for Jackson. It's collected at the 11. Had a couple men beat. Would have been a touchdown, but he came back to get the football.
But it's a great job by Jackson, who is a high school quarterback. His safeties are so used to thinking about things being either a run or a short pass. He just went right by them without Smoke Monday back there.
49-yard gain, and the Dogs are threatening to blow this thing open before the break.
Just surprised the safeties were just kind of flat-footed, and he goes right by him. And what I love is how he protects himself. Watch how the ball's underthrown, so he uses his body to protect himself from the collision from the Auburn defender.
And then they run right downfield, and this defense, it's reeling. They get 7 yards on the run by McIntosh on first down.
All the people that were critical of Todd Monken after what you watched in week 1, his email's open next week as well.
It's only a quarter and a half, but it has been really impressive. White muscles down near the marker. Britt tackled him. It'll be 3rd and about a yard.
And there's obviously a long way to go, but I mean, you can't judge an offense based on what you see in week 1 in the middle of a COVID. You didn't have spring ball. You get a new system, and you're not allowed to hit a lot. I mean, offenses are typically going to be behind in that situation. And so it's not necessarily a surprise to see improvement from week 1 to week 2 for all these offenses.
I've not seen an offensive line improve as much from week 1 against a bad defense to week 2 against Auburn.
Yes.
This group has. White. He's going to be shoved across the marker. It'll be 1st and goal. Initially, he wasn't there. He got a little help from his buddy.
A great collision there, and I thought we'd see a lot of that tonight between the linebackers and these backs, but I tell you, the leg drive has been outstanding. I know White is out, but
hey, Kirk, the Jumbos are back. Jordan Davis, Jalen Carter from the D-line are in there. Look out.
They opened it up last time. 88 the fullback, 99 the tight end. I think they'll run left again behind the big man.
600 pounds of lead blocker. White says, let's do this all night. This is fun. Second touchdown for Zeus, and Georgia has blown this one wide open. Auburn fans have to be shocked at what they've seen from their team so far.
I think both fan bases are probably shocked. You know, I think we expected a physical game on both sides. Auburn has not come in here matching the physicality and the energy that Georgia's brought to the table.
You're right. Not in any department. Bad field position. Smoke Monday targets on a special teams play. They lose their defensive quarterback. That group has been reeling. Georgia has been rolling. 24 zip between the hedges.
For years, I've trained dogs
together.
Here's the trophy. Presented by Dr. Pepper. Championship. Yeah, there's going to be a bracket. People are still asking, is there a playoff? Yes, there's a playoff this year. Semifinals in Pasadena and Atlanta. It's down the road. And the championship game January 11th in Miami. Athens, Georgia, which was partying last night like there's nothing going on. They apparently, a lot of the students thought it was just business as usual. Let's go out to the bars, and they may be full again tonight, those bars. The way the Dogs have started this one. Still 6:26 before halftime, and it's a 24-0 Georgia lead. Bigsby, the freshman running back, is a nice return. He's shoved out across the 31. And talk about running backs. Georgia considers themselves to be running back U. Alabama, Wisconsin, others can make a case. Frankie Sikwich was the first Heisman Trophy winner from the SEC back in '42. But then beginning with Herschel, Kirk, and there's guys like Robert Edwards, Lars Tate, Rodney Hampton didn't even make that list.
Sonny Michel.
Yep. And Zamir White knows that when you play tailback at Georgia, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of expectations. And the guy who had an ACL at high school and an ACL when he got to Georgia has overcome a lot. He's got a couple touchdowns tonight. This is Bigsby. He's a good-looking freshman running back. It's a nice first down game.
Well, let's see who wants to compete in the white jerseys. Let's see who's down 24 on the road, second week of the season. Things aren't obviously going well. Who wants to fight? Like, who's a foxhole guy is what I want to see right now from Auburn.
Have you seen from Bo Nix what you want to see?
No, not yet. Not yet. He looks frustrated. He is capable. Obviously, this offense is capable of doing a lot more.
Schwartz has a blocker on the edge, makes a nice move, and Auburn in a couple of plays that moved out near midfield. Daniel forced him out.
You know, before they had that drive with a low percentage throw on third down, and they ended up punting, they were getting everything outside. They were getting Schwartz outside. Their formations were stretching Georgia out to try to create space. This is not a defense you want to play in a phone booth. You need to stretch them out to have a chance.
Nix on the keeper.
Nice.
He's got 5 completions, Kirk, but only for 35 yards. He tried to get the ball deep to Schwartz once. It was a little bit overthrown. But he had 4 downfield shots in the opening game.
Yeah, and it's been an area that's, with this new offensive style with Chad Morris, it's been emphasized to try to open up his ability to throw the ball in much more of a more complicated way, I think, than what they did a year ago. But right now, you know, you're swimming upstream. But this is a good drive that they started here so far, mixing up the play calling.
From the pocket, launch downfield on a one-on-one coverage. It is underthrown, but it draws a flag. Tyson Campbell came back, and they finally trying to get the ball to Seth Williams. He hadn't been targeted until that play.
Yeah, they've taken a shot. It's underthrown, and thankfully it's underthrown because Williams works his way back to the ball. And Campbell, how about
Pass
Campbell?
interference.
I mean, stride for
Defense.
stride with Seth
3.
Williams, but the ball underthrown. Williams fights back.
First down.
And Campbell doesn't let him get back to the ball, so an obvious pass interference call.
Williams, a guy from Tuscaloosa, you know, targeted 11 times against Kentucky. They couldn't stop him. Most DBs, even if you have tall, long corners, it's a mismatch against Williams.
Yeah, I mean, he's worked so hard to get ready for this season. 215 to 209, 9% body fat down to 6%. Made a big-time commitment. He's much more a complete receiver.
On first down, Nix tries to get it to him again. He comes back, and it's a catch.
It looked like he was bobbling the ball as he came down. We'll see. It was a great effort to come down with the ball, but it just, looking live, it just looked like it came out of his hand slightly. See if it does.
Yep, they're conferring. Yeah, the right heel hit out of bounds. Daniel on defense. Let's check it again. Foot, does he have control?
It's not yet. Now he does.
But
depends where that right foot is. Yeah, they have to take a look where that right foot is.
Well, they're moving it back. Just one more look. Now, it's not in his control until about right there.
There, yeah. Right foot. It looks like it's on the white line. This will be a great look here. Wait. Now on the line. Incomplete.
His left foot came off the ground.
Yep.
While he was bobbling the ball. So it was all about the right foot.
But Auburn's attacking. You know, on this drive, they're taking some shots. They're getting the ball out, letting Schwartz make some plays, trying to get the ball to 18, Seth Williams. It's the deepest they've been in Georgia territory. And again, man, we're in the second quarter. I mean, if you stop the bleeding, you get a score. Now all of a sudden, you got a little bit of energy for your defense. Defense starts to maybe believe, hey, I've seen stranger things happen. Let's go.
Bigsby the back on 2nd and 10. Nix, immediate pressure, running for his life, dumps it off. Bigsby makes the nice catch and is off and running. And the freshman tailback knocked down hard at the 12. That time, Nix had to run for his life. It made something happen.
Remember I talked about Bo Nix, stay calm in the pocket. This is one of those cases, get out, abort, get out of there. I love that about Bo Nix. Athletic enough to keep a play alive. He's thinking about just throwing it away, but instead locates Bigsby there for not only a catch, but a first down. Great play.
Came barreling through with great speed, getting after the quarterback.
First and 10 to 12.
Bigsby, and immediately and driven back. Flying forward was Azeez Ojulari.
They're trying to use Schwartz there to try to affect the eyes, but boy, that defense all over that play.
Ojulari, a sophomore out of Marietta. Very, very athletic and active defender. 2nd and 13. Nix lobs it for Williams. Did he come down with it? No. Had his hands on it, hit the ground, and it came out.
Yeah, he came down with it, but as soon as he hit the ground, it popped out. I mean, that was a great effort going up against DJ Daniel. Look at the coverage. Look how physical that matchup is. He looked like he just had the ball in his right arm. He has the ball. He puts it right in his right arm instead of with 2 hands, just the 1 arm. And that's why the ball ended up popping out. Look how high he went up. The progressive pylon cam giving you a great look. If he put 2 hands on that as he hit the ground, it's a touchdown.
Said it's 3rd and 13. Play clock down at 2-1. Didn't you see it? Now they called a timeout to save the delay of game.
Gus sprinted down and got the timeout.
Do they have 2 plays to get to 13? They don't need a field goal to find the end zone to cut into this lead. 3:54 before halftime.
Team, it's been a...
I'm Matt Berry. Coming up at the State Farm halftime report. How does Auburn get back in this game? Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway to discuss. Plus, we're going to take a trip around the SEC. Interesting things going on with Mike Leach and Mississippi State. And the Big 12 is a little bit of a mess after this Saturday. Who's the best team in that conference? That and more coming up on the State Farm halftime report.
A little bit of a mess. That's a good understatement, Matt. Look forward to that. Meanwhile, Auburn needs 13 on this 3rd down to keep hope alive of a touchdown here, not a field goal attempt.
You got
backfield.
Schwartz right here in the slot, and Williams up at the top.
1-on-1 from Williams on that side, but Nix looks to the left. A huge shot. The mouthpiece came flying out, and so did 2 flags. Incomplete. LeCount came up and drilled Jedrick Jackson.
Yeah, they're definitely going to take a peek at this. I mean, you said it, mouthpiece or whatever it might have been. It might have been an ear pad. I don't know. There's something came out along with the football. LeCount saw that right away, known as a big hitter for this defense the last 3 years.
Personal foul, targeting. Defense, number 2. The previous play is under review.
LeCount's a preseason All-American. He's the guy that had a couple of interceptions in the opening game. Watch him deliver this hit.
Watch how quick he reacts. Boom, foot in the ground. He sees it and just lowers his shoulder and head into the receiver. Let's see where the contact is. Boy, that is close. Looks like the right shoulder got in there. It happened so fast because of the way he reacted.
Jedrick Jackson about to catch the ball, had not turned his head, so defenseless player seemed to come into impact here. We got Bill Lamagne watching this game remotely here. We'll see if we can bring in Bill and continue to review this. You got to get Bill's microphone flipped down there. We'll try to hear from him. But LeCount, the guy, kind of a mixed bag. He makes big plays. He commits penalties. He does make mistakes. Let's go to Bill now. We've got his mic squared away.
After review,
I appreciate that.
The ruling on the field
we
is
have a
confirmed.
defenseless player.
The penalty would be half the distance to the goal.
So contact to the head and neck area that's forcible. We have an indicator that he's attacking him. So we have a confirmation by replay of the targeting
We
call.
lost Smoke Monday for Auburn's defense, a great leader. And now Richard LeCount, who's making his 30th start tonight. He's played a lot of football and a lot of big games. Smoke Monday.
He's out, but will not have to miss the first half of the next game. It's Tennessee that comes in here next week. But that is a costly loss.
Big loss.
And it's a much needed first down conversion for the Tigers on the penalty. They're set up at the 7-yard line now.
Nix's legs can always be a factor down inside the 10.
DJ Williams in as a blocker. Nix was running all the way, but the Dogs are ready for it on the short side of the field. No gain.
Yeah, they sure were. The linebackers and safeties, you know, they prepped all week for inside the 10-yard line, quarterback power, quarterback counter, sweep. He's going to keep it a lot of times, and Lewis Seen now will take over as a leader, 16. That time he shot quickly out of his position to come onto that edge of that defense.
They run Luke Deal on a tight end. Bigsby is the back. Huge urgency for Auburn on this sequence to find the end zone. Nix running again to the left. Has some blocks on the edge. Lowers his head. Powers down to the 3. It'll be 3rd and goal.
You could see Nakobe Dean with the motion of the tight end, 17. He was pointing, hey, somebody over here. We need to get somebody on this edge. Georgia that time fortunate. They didn't have an edge player. I thought that might get loose. I thought Bo Nix might be able to pick up one block and get into the end zone. Georgia doing a good job, even though they didn't have that edge player, reacting pretty quickly in the back end.
2 old school calls. 2 tight end look. Now Pegues motions out to the right. And it's Schwartz in the flat. He can't get going. Wrestled down very quickly by Tyson Campbell. It's 4th and goal. How about wants him to go for it here?
How about Tyson Campbell going in motion? Watch 3. As he goes with him, he knows what's coming. He's either going to hand it to him or throw it to him quickly. Does a great job of getting up there and taking away the speedster Schwartz. He knows it's coming. Got to get out there. Can't let him beat me to the corner. Good play by 3 in red.
Quarterback lobby, Kirk, but Gus Malzahn elects to try the field goal with Anders Carlson, the 3rd-year kicker. It's a chip shot. First attempt of the season, and it's up and good. So they drive it 65 yards in 10 plays, 11 plays, not exactly what they were looking for.
And Bo Nix was fired up after finally they put a drive together. He goes over to the sidelines and was frustrated. And of course, he's in a competitive mode, kind of fiery, and he wanted to finish that drive off and put a touchdown on the board to get Auburn back in this game.
You know, Nix, we talked about his baptism as a true freshman in the SEC, all that tough competition. The offseason, as weird as it was, how well prepared he was. Great second half of the opening game. But from the start tonight, he just has looked out of sorts and frustrated. The offense has been out of sync.
Yeah, they have. And I think Georgia deserves a lot of credit for the way they played on both sides of the ball. Just taking it to Auburn, playing at home, looking very different offensively from a week ago to this week. And I think Auburn just still trying to figure things out. That was the best drive that we saw the first half. More spacing, more attacking, trying to get the ball downfield. At least they get on the board. But I'm with Bo Nix, you know, 24-0. You get that close. 24/7 just sounds different, you know?
Big time. I'm a semi-professional lip reader from years and 10. I think he said that was pitiful. I believe that's what he said. After the penalty, 1st and goal at the 7. And couldn't get close enough to give it a go, in Malzahn's opinion, on 4th down.
What is that, a big thing in tennis?
Lip read.
The lip read?
Yeah.
What, talking to the coach, or what are they doing? I don't know what you mean.
No, what they just talking to themselves.
Oh, themselves. Okay.
Court, yeah.
Sometimes they yell into a corner at a coach, right?
A lot of times they do. I said semi-professional. I don't have my doctorate in lip reading, but I'm not bad at it. And the kickoff will sail out of bounds. So Georgia's got a minute 38 to work with before halftime, try to rebuild the lead. The All-State bus was here in Athens, keeping us up to breast on all the action here. What's your All-State protection spotlight today?
Well, this Texas TCU game, look at the score, 33-29, late in the game, 3 minutes to go. Texas, their running back, Ingram, this is going to be a touchdown. They're going to take the lead. No, sir. Zanant makes the play, keeps him short. A couple plays later, Texas trying to score, and they fumble. TCU protects their own end zone, and they get out of there with a 33-31 victory.
GPAT making a stop there. You know, Texas dodged the upset a week ago. They lose. Now Oklahoma State, the only unbeaten team in the Big 12. And that conference is in serious trouble for a potential playoff bid already. I know it's early, but...
Yep, for sure. Minute 38. Auburn gets the ball to start the second half. And I don't think Georgia's just going to work the clock here. They're thinking points with the way this first half has gone for them.
Got a couple of timeouts. They feed White inside. And another solid first down gain. They pick up 5.
It's the combination of the offensive line playing better tonight, obviously, but the leg drive of these backs. I mean, they've hit at about maybe 2 or 3 yards, and then they drive the pile another 2 or 3 more yards when there isn't room to run.
Not a great deal of urgency so far, letting the clock run.
I'm surprised. I thought they might be a little bit more aggressive.
White again.
There he is again.
First down again. The clock stops momentarily. Now they're going to ball near midfield, take a shot.
Zamir White is, again, you think he's down? Next thing you know, his pads are low, and he's somehow getting through those backers, and tough to bring down. Now they're going to go.
Still got the 2 timeouts inside of a minute. Bennett working the sideline, and he misfired trying to get it to Pickens. But Leslie's got a strong leg. He's more than capable of driving it through from beyond 50 yards.
They've been spoiled the last, what, 3 or 4 years, right?
With Hot Rod?
Yeah.
Groza Award winner now with Indianapolis. But Leslie, the guy who was a recruited walk-on kicker, but he's the kickoff man. He's got plenty of leg strength. They don't have to get it more than about 15 yards or so to be comfortably within his range. Bennett from the pocket, hoops the ball downfield, and he just overshot his man. That was Matt Landers. Barrett in defense. It'll be 3rd and 10.
Now, you always think about Pickens, but again, if you're just joining us, we're talking about Jermaine Burton, Matt Landers. They like to get him the ball outside of the numbers, more of a vertical threat. The speedster who's played some football here as a junior, 6'5".
So they got the 2 timeouts, Kirk. They can work the middle of the field.
Oh, sure.
Need 10 here.
Again, I love how they move Pickens around. You know, he's not just playing on one side. Now they move him all the way to the top of the trips formation. Just trying to give him chances to get one-on-one.
Tigers rush 3. Ball flipped out. Flag in the flat. Jackson weaves his way, navigates to a first down, but there is a marker.
Yeah, and we just talked about Pickens, and he's known for catching the ball, not known for blocking. I think he's going to be guilty of holding that time to try to free up 10 Jackson. Watch him at the top. Ball is thrown. I think he underestimated the reaction time from Pritchett. He just grabs onto his jersey.
Holding. Offense, number 1. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Remains 3rd down.
It's a spot foul. It'll still be 3rd and long here. They still have those 2 timeouts. But that is a momentum killer. Would have been a first down inside the 40, very close to field goal range. Now the ball back at the Georgia 41.
And that's part of, again, I think an area where he's still developing and growing. Obviously, he's a dynamic playmaker. But to be a complete receiver and eventually go into the NFL, it's not just about catching the ball. Blocking and doing the little things are just as big of a deal to an offense.
White behind 3 blockers, cannot break free, tackled at the 45-yard line.
Auburn's going to call a timeout here. Used their last one.
McLean makes the tackle. Will force a punt now from Georgia. Tigers with 25 seconds to work with. And we wondered when would the Georgia running backs emerge after a quiet opener. Again, the team averaged under 3 yards a carry. And the man they call Zeus has found the end zone a couple of times. James Cook, Dalvin's younger brother. He's also run hard, 8 yards a carry on his 5 attempts so far.
Yeah, when they're healthy, what a tandem. It's always nice to have 2, try to stay fresh. Different styles too. White is a powerful downhill runner. He's going to break tackles, and Cook's got some wiggle and some shake. You give him enough room, he can take it to the house.
They've been different, more aggressive runners, but of course it begins up front. The offensive line that was criticized after the opener has made a quantum leap forward so far tonight. 288 yards of offense for Georgia. They've run it for 130 and a half against Auburn. Wow, you just don't do that.
No.
For Nix, 18 seconds to try to make something interesting happen. They will get the ball to begin the 3rd quarter, but the lead is still 21. ESPN College Game Day, built by the Home Depot, off to Clemson. That'll be the primetime game on ABC. Are the Canes ready? They had a bye week. Clemson battling Virginia, leading the Cavaliers tonight. That'll be an interesting encounter in prime time.
You and I have been along for the ride with the Miami Hurricanes, and next week we find out really how good they are.
Little trickery of Schwartz, and the Dogs are ready for that. They've been ready for everything tonight. Very impressive defensively from Georgia. And Stetson Bennett in his first start, continuing where he left off as a relief pitcher a week ago. Total dominance by the Dogs as they try to continue the most dominant era for them in this rivalry since the 1940s. The State Farm halftime report. Let's go to Matt Berry and company in the studio. It is 24-3 Georgia.
Chris Fowler, that's perfect. State Farm halftime report. My company and Matt Berry going to take you into the dominance that is Clemson. 31 games.
Sear, Carolina Chevy dealer.
Somebody give me something to believe.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Welcome back to the Dr. Pepper Championship Drive Game of the Week.
A rivalry that began back in 1892. Sullivan's going to go very long. It's caught! Michael Johnson! Six Georgia breaks a couple of tackles. He must have heard us talking about the height.
'20 wrinkle on the Deep South's oldest rivalry. Welcome back to ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by PlayStation 5. This presentation of the SEC on ESPN. First time they've met earlier than November since 1936, but the Dogs are flexing the PlayStation 5 first half stats. Big edge in yards. They've thrown it for 158, 104 of those to Jackson McKirk.
How about that?
Yards on first down.
You go 6 of 9 on third down when you're averaging 7 yards on 1st and 10. But hey, it's the second half here. Auburn gets the ball to start the second half. I'm sure they're, if you just are tuning in, their last drive at the end of the first half, they got aggressive. They started to put some things together to see if they were able to learn from that and continue to try to stretch that Georgia defense out.
Each team lost a key defensive player. Richard LeCount sent out for Georgia. And this is Bigsby trying to bring this out. And that's why you usually leave kickoffs there in the end zone. Stop at the 17. The Burger King moment brought to you by Burger King.
It's been a balanced attack for Georgia. They've been able to run the ball, but really, how about this quarterback? It came in such an incredible story. Watching him be able to navigate, make good decisions, throwing accuracy. Stetson Bennett, who has emerged as the guy at the quarterback spot with Georgia coming into tonight. Everybody wondered who would be the quarterback. Would JT Daniels, the transfer, get his chance? Who would be the guy?
It was King of the Moment, brought to you by Burger King. Nix has got it. Tried to cut back. There was nothing on the edge, and there's only about 2 yards in the middle.
Well, he misread the zone read. You're reading the in man on the line of scrimmage, and you can't predetermine what you want to do. And when you misread it, there's not going to be a whole lot of room to run. He's fortunate he's able to pick up a couple yards there.
He tried to feature him as a runner twice when they were first and goal at the 7. And this is Bigsby bouncing it, but he's stopped right at the line of scrimmage. Dogs are still flying around on defense.
They are.
Lowry on the stop.
Yeah, with LeCount out, we're seeing Lewis Seen, the safety on the other star, much more active, flying around and making plays, especially against the run. Christopher Smith, incidentally, 29, has come in for LeCount.
On third down, Nix over the middle. They finally connect with Williams, and the top receiver on this team is hammered, but he moves the sticks to the 30.
Yeah, a good matchup with he and Tyson Campbell. They've been going at it a lot tonight. Good little hesitation before he moves inside. And a lot of times on these 3rd and 5s to 6s, that slot receiver is going to work over the middle.
This one's off the hands of Williams on the sidelines. Allison?
Hey there, Chris. We got whipped up front on both sides of the ball. That's what Gus Malzahn said he was most frustrated with in that first half and just really disappointed in his team's lack of physicality. He also said multiple times, we have to score on this opening drive just to change the feel of the ball game, get something positive going. And I asked him about Bo Nix's frustration. He said, yeah, he's frustrated and he should be.
Now there's a high throw off target to Williams, and on this must-score drive, according to Williams, they're going to face a 3rd and long.
Yeah, and that play never had a chance. Even if Seth Williams caught that ball, it would have been a loss of yardage. The design of that play did not fool Georgia at all. They were all over it. It's time to isolate Williams into the boundary. 3 receivers to the top, Williams to the bottom. Now take that back. They're going to move the running back out there to join him. Now it's Bo Nix by himself. Ball's going to probably come out quick here.
Dogs only rush 3, spy the quarterback. What a catch by Williams. He was blanketed by Tyson Campbell, but grabbed it on the back shoulder, first down of the 50.
Did he even get his right hand in there? There's that battle again, 18 against 3. Really good coverage, back shoulder. I think he barely got his right hand in there.
Now they get into Schwartz in the perimeter, and he fights hard. Had 1 block on the edge against 3 Bulldogs. Smith stops him for about a 6-yard gain. Have a look at the catch.
Yeah, I want to see if he got his right hand. Look at the location. Gives you an idea what Bo Nix is capable of. 3rd down.
He's being grabbed.
That ball just stuck to his stomach and used his left hand to bring it in. Clutch, considering this is a must-score drive, as Gus Malzahn said.
Tried to make a one-handed touchdown catch, lost the ball when he hit the ground at the end of the half there, Williams did. 2nd and 5 is more like it for this offense. Nix rolls a long way and just throws it, and it's dropped. That was right in the hands of Shedrick Jackson. Couldn't hold on to it.
And Bo Nix bought as much time as he could, rolling to his right, a pump fake, and then I thought he might just throw it away and give up on it, but he eventually, there's the pump fake, buys time, somehow he's able to squeeze it in there to Jackson. Jackson, nobody's there. I mean, just secure the ball and get hit for the first down. Now they got another 3rd down.
Jackson, the guy they got back after the opener, good for his first catch. Four-man rush, Nix, flush, little pump fake, and that got the defender off his feet and allowed him to scamper for a first down.
How about that? Just that little move put Walker, 25, up into the air. Spread out, steps up into the pocket. Now right there, that little move forces Walker to get his hands up. You got to be careful of going up in the air against an athletic quarterback who senses that, pulls the ball back quickly, and gets outside of him for that first down.
Crucial, moves it to the 34, play action. They flip it in the flat. Schwartz lost the football. It's recovered by Jackson, who jumped on it to prevent the game's first takeaway.
That was a good heads-up play by Jackson. We saw that in a game that we did earlier, and actually the Monday night game with Juju Smith-Schuster. The anticipation from 11, looking, is he going to fumble just in case? I'm following the play, and then he goes down, and fortunately for Auburn, he's able to come up with that football.
Mark Webb ripped it out of Schwartz's arms.
I like how Schwartz, I know he fumbled it. I like how, instead of always looking for the big play, lowers his shoulder and just gets as many yards as he can.
Comes in motion there. They hand it up to Bigsby, and the freshman's able to back across that line to make, and it's another first down.
It's tough sledding between the tackles with this offensive line against this Georgia front. Most of the success, it's this jet sweep, it's faking it, it's throwing it out quickly to Schwartz, it's Seth Williams maybe winning a one-on-one matchup, it's Bo Nix pulling a rabbit out of his hat and scrambling and keeping the play alive. It's tough to get yards between the tackles.
You do sense the increased urgency from this Auburn offense that Gus talked to Allison about. Nix looking to throw it on first down. It's incomplete. That pitch was low and outside, looking for Schwartz.
See, I'm a fan of Bo Nix. I like his style. I like his game. But I think what Auburn needs to see from him in his second year is consistency. He'll make one throw and you'll scratch your head and go, son of a gun. I mean, this guy's got it. And then he'll make other throws. It's almost like it's just a throwaway. It's a wasted down. Consistency is going to take him to the next level.
In the pocket on 2nd and 10. Flushed again. Lobs it downfield. He was looking for Bigsby. Incomplete. Man, he has been on the run so often tonight, very early after getting the ball.
He has, and that time you're looking at a kind of an outside rush man. 44. Watch what he does here. Walker, known for his ability to rush the quarterback. Instead, his job that time is to stay with a back that not only just was flared out, he's going downfield, and a big fella 44 staying with him at 290 pounds, 250 pounds.
He made the sack of Nix to end Auburn's threat as they tried to come back in last year's edition of this game.
And again, here he is, right here.
3rd and 10, play clock winding down. Nix pressured immediately, just tries to heave the ball away. It's on the ground, and haven't seen a signal yet from the officials, just trying to make something happen. Never had a chance with the pass rush there.
Well, Adam Anderson is known kind of as a 3rd down specialist because of how quickly he can get into that quarterback. Watch his bend and able to get around that right tackle. Bo Nix never had a chance. In the blink of an eye, he's in the backfield. I think they think he might be down. Let's see if his knee touches.
It was the ruling on the field that he was down before he heaved the ball away. It's kind of a bang-bang play. But here comes the long field goal attempt. Anders Carlson on from 45 yards. And it's drifting, but it's good. So, again, not what Auburn was looking for. They put together a 54-yard, 15-play drive, but it's another field goal. The lead is still 18.
Super Hammer just about sleep.
Field goal for the Tigers to begin the 3rd quarter. 24-6 is the score. The Dr. Pepper Championship Drive game of the week, and aerial coverage above Sanford Stadium brought to you by Goodyear. No matter what the season throws your way, keep moving forward. Goodyear, more driven. So Auburn, 2nd consecutive drive, producing just 3 points. Could have really made this a much tighter game had they been able to find the end zone. As it is, Auburn's defense back on the field, still trying to make a play to spark this team. Kenny McIntosh deep for the Dogs. And McIntosh will leave it there, and they'll begin from the 25. Tonight, after the game on ESPN, stay tuned for UFC Fight Night from Fight Island in Abu Dhabi. Main event featuring former bantamweight champ Holly Holm against Irene Aldana. Main card also available on ESPN Plus in English and in Spanish. The Dogs offensive line back out on the field just had its way with Auburn in the first half.
It's one thing, Kevin Steele, defensive coordinator from Auburn, one of the tops in the country. It's one thing to try to make adjustments and stop this offense. It's another thing. You want to get back in this game, the best way to do it. The offense didn't get touchdowns. They need a pick 6. They need a turnover. They need a short field. Something to get their momentum and kind of that jazz level up.
There's another big run. We showed you the graphic. 7 yards per first down play. That's right about their average in the first half.
And they're going right into the middle of that defense, challenging their manhood, just like the way they did in that first half. And I think anybody who watched these teams play in the first week would have said, how is this Georgia offense pushing Kevin Steele and this defense around when they run the ball?
White again. We talked about, no Brown, no Davidson, but they really believed in the guys who were filling the gap. This is an Auburn defense that rallied around the idea there was going to be a big drop-off. They're a little salty about that. They felt good about this front, but
yeah, I mean,
tonight
you lose Derek Brown and Marlon Davidson and Nick Coe. It's one thing about Kevin Steele, he rotates a lot of bodies in. So even these guys considered new starters, they played a lot of football. He rotates a lot of people in at all 3 levels.
McIntosh is the back. They fake it to him. They fire it down the middle, and that's a catch by the tight end. Fitzpatrick has got it, and he's in Auburn territory. They haven't used the tight ends a lot in the first half.
Watch the backers with play action. They've been getting hurt by the run so much that they've got to respect it, and they come up And then there's a big hole right behind it. Great call by Todd Monken.
Going to throw again on first down. Bennett fires downfield and has a man wide open, and that's Jackson again. His 8th catch tonight at 104 in the first half.
Busting coverage. 2 defenders go downfield with 5. Opens it up to the outside where there's nobody out there to take it away. Good job of clearing that out, taking the 2 defenders.
McIntosh spun down after a yard gain by KJ Britt, but Kearis Jackson, guy has really matured. He's worked. He wasn't an immediate success here. You know, last year played a couple games, but now in his redshirt freshman year, game 2, he's showing he's going to be a weapon in this offense.
Yeah, again, he's somewhat raw, high school quarterback. He's needed time to just learn how to play the position, but keep talking about it. The question with this team coming into the year was who could complement Pickens on the perimeter, and they're finding options.
Pickens a quiet night, just 2 for 26 yards. And there's another run. And McIntosh takes his turn and pressing into the secondary. McCreary stopped him, but it's right near the marker. It'll be a first down.
Very, very impressed with this game plan and the approach. Britt took on a block by Jake Fitzpatrick on that counter play, the 86 pulling around. And Britt's been kind of in and out of the game tonight.
Out again. McIntosh on the edge. Cuts it back, slips a tackle, and he'll pick up 2 yards. Losing Smoke Monday on that special teams targeting really seemed to take some of the air out of this defense. You mentioned Britt hasn't been able to consistently stay on the field tonight. Those are the 2 leaders.
Those are the 2 leaders. Those are the 2 that get you lined up. No matter what formation, what motion, no matter what you're in, you can count on those guys with their experience to be able to get the right call and get everybody lined and have at least a better chance. But neither one on the field right now.
It's Kendall Milton now in at tailback. Fresh legs for Georgia on this 2nd and 7 play. Milton's got it, and he dances through a hole. Doesn't matter who's carrying the rock for the Dogs tonight. That offensive line up front is making them look good.
They've thrown a couple pass plays, but for the most part, this has been their running game. They're not even trying to fool Auburn. They're just, it's coming. We're coming right at you. Can you stop us? Just 2 passes, 6 runs on these 8 plays so far, moving right down the field.
Yeah, the answer so far, Kirk, has been no. They need 4 on this 3rd down. Zamir White back in the ballgame looking for a hat trick of touchdowns. Tigers are crowding the line. They come after Bennett, who has to run immediately to avoid the sack. Scans downfield and now just throws it away. That time, the Kevin Steele blitz fooled him.
Yeah, Kevin Steele is known as an aggressive defensive coordinator, and with just a back in there and 5 linemen, they bring more than they can handle. There's just nothing that Bennett can do. He's lucky enough to buy time there, and Kevin Steele rolls the dice, gets very aggressive in the red zone, and it pays off.
You've been impressed, though. Bennett's got some quickness. His first step to evade the rush, avoid a sack.
And a feel, like that moxie, just knowing when to get out of there.
Here comes Jack Lesney, and he knocks it through. So the kicking games look good. So has the offense and the defense, and the lead is back to 21 midway 3rd quarter.
Team, forget the band.
I haven't.
Matt Berry with a studio update. Here comes Mississippi State against Arkansas. Dylan Johnson up the gut, touchdown. Mississippi State only 9 yards rushing last week, 68 tonight. They've closed within a touchdown. Christian Kirk.
See if the
last week
air raid's got to come back in.
623 yards, and they're going to score on everybody they play in the SEC. This week, just trying to beat the Hogs. Just trying to, a little bit more zone coverage from Barry Odom and the boys.
That's the way to do it. LSU never really did adjust. They played man against Mississippi State all night, right?
Hey, they like that. They like the man coverage.
Like it less after that game.
I'm saying Mississippi State likes it.
Oh, they like it.
Yeah, they're welcoming.
Odd boots it, and it is returnable. Bigsby along the sidelines works his way and dives forward across the 20. Take a look at Bo Nix' evening tonight.
Yeah, he's going to try to get things going. It's been a combination of things. The rhythm of this offense has been off, and even when they've had a chance to make a play, receivers unable to hold on to the ball. Errant passes, just not quite there. Here he hits a man for a first down, Jackson, but he drops that one. I think you mix in the pressure and the way they've come after him, and Bo Nix has been frustrated and trying to get everybody on the same page.
Had a big second half against Kentucky. Needs some magic to try to get the Tigers back in this game. 11-24. They're able to get Williams going in the last drive. They try to get it to him here, and there's a nice catch. Stretches out a 4-yard gain.
This defense from Georgia is one of the tops in the country. One of the tough things to do when you have an offensive line that's breaking in a lot of new starters is drive the ball on this defense. And this defense is trying to keep everything in front of them. Make Bo Nix earn it. Make them execute.
2-by-2. They get it to Schwartz behind the block from Jackson. He's 2 yards short of the marker.
You know, they'll give up plays like that all day. Keep the ball in front of them. Don't give up the explosive. Make them have to drive 79 yards in 10 plays or 12 plays. And for the most part, they've been able to take away those big plays downfield.
3rd and 1.
Got to run Nix here, don't you?
Seems pretty obvious. There's no back, and now Schwartz in motion, and it is a keeper all the way. He ran the right direction. Pressure came off the left side of the offensive line. He'll move the sticks.
Yeah, he's just following his guard there, just trying to get behind him, and by spreading everybody out, there's just not quite enough defenders in that box. You see teams that have athletic quarterbacks do that, take advantage of the numbers. But again, if Bo Nix is serious about getting back into this game, he and Chad Morris, it's got to be more aggressive. They got to take some shots, try to find ways to get Schwartz and Williams downfield.
And first down, play action. Nix thought about downfield, stepped up, and now has to fire it across the middle. Schwartz is absolutely wide open. That's his biggest catch of the night into Georgia territory.
Yeah, there's a mix-up in coverage. Schwartz here. Watch how he works his way across, and then nobody picks him up. They're playing man-to-man on the other side, so there's nobody on the left side that's there to pick him up.
And now, right off that, they try to run tempo, and it's a false start. Wait a second. Was there a timeout before that was snapped? Georgia spent one on defense, so no penalty. Take a break. Still 1st and 10.
That's got a break there.
For South Carolina.
Time for fans of the Dogs or Tigers to show how big you're going tonight. Use the hashtag #ShowYourSaturday. Post a video on social media. You might get your 15 seconds of fan fame and a SEC Network promo. Well, Auburn's moved the ball into Georgia territory, just trying to chop into this lead, desperate to find the end zone for the first time tonight. Nix launches downfield. He's got Schwartz running free. Can't quite get there again. Just overthrown on the deep shot. Not an easy guy to overthrow.
Yeah, exactly. Schwartz is known for jet sweeps and quick throws to the perimeter. The area they want to try to use him more is downfield. You know, he needs to become a complete receiver. And you're right, the speed to get right behind Daniels. Safety's coming over to protect and help out, but the ball not quite on target.
So accurate on his deep shots against Kentucky, not so tonight. On 2nd and 10, they check the far sidelines. Williams was tangled up over there, no flag. Campbell defending him. It's 3rd and 10.
Those two are going to work against each other. I wondered which corner might get a chance to go one-on-one against Seth Williams, a talented receiver, and it's been 3. You can see the frustration from Seth Williams there at the end.
He's a long corner, right? 6'2".
Yep.
He's a 5-star recruit in the class of 18. Campbell out of Plantation, Florida.
Had 11 starts as a freshman. Got injured after 3 starts a year ago. It's good to see him back.
We're on a tough assignment tonight and doing very well. On 3rd down, Nix in the flat to Bigsby, getting ahead of steam. Knocked out right near the marker by Dean. It's going to be just short And 4th and about a yard.
Oh, you'd love to see, and this is something as a young back, you know, he's doing a great job, but boy, with his momentum and speed, if he just took that back to the inside and lowered his shoulder, it's a first down.
Got the Wildcat here, J.G. Pegues, the big 300-pound true freshman tight end, did this in high school. As a quarterback, they need a yard. It's predictable, but you can't stop the big fella. He barrels forward, second effort, he moves the sticks. 300 pounds coming downhill.
Tight end mentioned he was a quarterback and a running back in high school. Can we get that video? In high school.
Unfair.
I mean, I'm going to say
he's year in high school.
He's 3 bills right now. So what do you think? He's playing at 280, 285 as a quarterback, running Wildcat. What high school safety or linebacker is going to tackle the big fella?
No, thank you. Here's Bigsby, another true freshman, and he's running hard too. He's just massive. Hanging forward. Now you're seeing a little attitude, a little grit from Auburn.
Yes, this is outstanding. I mean, this is what Georgia's had a lot of, but Bigsby, man, he would not be denied. I love to see the fight from a young back like that.
In his home state. Now they take a downfield shot on 2nd and 1. Williams is up, and that is broken up again by Campbell, who again won that one-on-one battle.
I'm really enjoying watching these two future NFL players go one-on-one against each other. They leave him on an island. They trust him to be able to make that play. He gets the right hand and knocks the ball away, but the left hand touching and grabbing on Seth Williams. But they let him play. But by the way, I mean, if you're going to complete a pass against Campbell, you better throw it perfectly, like a Russell Wilson type of throw that's up in the air and coming straight down, because Campbell is all over Williams.
Williams out of the game, getting a breather. Empty backfield on 3rd and 1. Play clock winding down for next 3, 2, 1. Did they see it? Did the sideline catch it? Wow, if they didn't.
Play clock operator, please reset the play clock. 25 seconds.
Okay, so it was a quick clock and no foul. And that's fortunate for Auburn. That would have been a very ill-timed delay of game.
Well, now Auburn has plenty of time with that new play clock to get things set up. Well, he's
trying to regroup over there, Williams.
Yeah. Been that kind of night.
Jesus back in the Wildcat, Kirk. Big fella.
Now maybe you hand it off to Schwartz as he comes in that jet sweep motion. No, going with the big man.
Boom, big man barreling forward. Again, 300 pounds downhill, another first down.
I thought they might give it to 1, but they're gonna keep going back to the well in those short yardage situations with a 300-pounder.
He's a guy that can do things in space. He can catch the ball. He's on the kickoff coverage team at 300 pounds.
No, I mean, he's an incredible athlete for his size. And as a true freshman, is going to do a lot of great things, not just blocking. The tight end's going to be used a lot more in the pass game in this offense with Chad Morris.
Threw a block on a touchdown a week ago against Kentucky. Nix on 1st down, looks downfield. Big fella laying out. We're just tucking up his hands there. He was there, couldn't quite collect it.
Well, last week he did that exact same motion, but he blocked. And this time they show that same look, but instead he sneaks down the sideline on kind of on a rail route. Well, that's a big ask out of a 300-pounder, even though he's an athlete, to get airborne and come up with that with a safety closing in on him.
Second time in this series that Smith has come across as a safety, and he's influenced the receiver's chance of catching the ball just by being close. Second and 10. Nix takes off, and he's got some space. Gets the corner. Flag comes in late and away from the play in that offensive pit area.
But Nix sensed man-to-man coverage, and things opened up, and he took off.
Holding. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty. Remains first down.
That's the grad transfer from Akron, Brandon Council. He didn't need a hold in this play. Nix was already
he gets
well
a
away
hold.
from him.
Watch after he runs away. And right in the middle of your screen, 71, he grabs a hold of Carter. Back of his jersey.
I don't think Carter was going to run him down.
Now, right there, he grabs onto his, yeah, definitely grabbed him. Again,
set a second and short, second and very long.
That's 20. In and out of the lineup, their most reliable receiver, and right now is not out there.
Nix stepped right up into pressure and is knocked down. Azeez Ojulari has made a big impact tonight, as he typically does.
But you usually think of Ojulari on the outside with speed. This time he just does it with power, pushing the left tackle, Alec Jackson, into the backfield and into the quarterback's face. You also had 44 Walker coming in from the right. Bo Nix just starts to step up and realizes on both sides the entire pocket collapsing down on top of him. Now it's 3rd and forever.
Officially 28. And yeah. Pressure again. They dump it off to Bigsby in the flat. And the freshman break and tackles. Heck of an effort. He gets some of the yardage back. Smith tackled him, but it's 4th and 12 from the 30. They're in field goal range. The offense on the field still.
Auburn has found themselves a back, and I know those of you who follow recruiting, Bigsby was a big get for Gus Malzahn. True freshman this year, 6 feet, 204 pounds. He's shown enough, I think, tonight in a big-time SEC game to give you an idea of things to come in his bright future.
Got to get 12 to keep this drive going.
And Williams not out on the field.
Play clock winding down. They just get the play off. Nix steps up, looking for some magic. Flags down, and it's intercepted. He threw it into coverage. Mark Webb has got it. And the Dogs, with their initial takeaway, snuff out another Auburn drive. Penalty was a hold. Interception will stand.
Number 65. That penalty is declined. The result of the play, turnover, 1st down, Georgia.
This route concept, there's just nowhere to go with this football for Bo Nix. You know, he's got 3 receivers just going downfield vertically. He gets pressure, tries to step up. Where's he going to go with the ball other than just throwing it up and hoping? Not much of a chance at all there, Chris.
Webb, a playmaker, a safety last week, a pick tonight. End of 3. Dogs by 3 touchdowns. You're watching the SEC on ESPN.
The final
drink of Fansville.
Well, it can't be full by rule, but it's festive tonight. ESPN College Football Primetime, presented by PlayStation 5. This presentation of the SEC on ESPN. A Week 2 collision between these ancient rivals, and Georgia begins the 4th quarter up by 3 touchdowns. Hand it off inside, and this is Kendall Milton taking his turn, and he's got about 10. Fury on the stop.
That play has worked very, very well. They run that counter play, and they run it a bunch of different ways.
A long streak, Kirk, of 251 pass attempts without an interception is over, as the pick was made by Webb there. And so often tonight we've seen Nix sitting on the bench looking dejected, having a conversation with Chad Morris, who's in game 2 of his play calling duties for Auburn. Now he's up working some teammates. But Auburn's defense needs a takeaway. Bennett backpedaling. That was dangerous. He just flips it away. Incomplete. Allison?
Chris, last time the Auburn defense came off the field, defensive coordinator Kevin Steele got the entire D huddled up together, and he went off. And as you guys know, that is not in his personality. Steele is about as opposite of a stereotypical defensive coordinator as you'll find, but he was fired up with these guys. And he kept them together for quite some time, but when they broke, he spent a lot of time with the secondary and trying to work out some issues there. Ever since Smoke Monday has left this game, the communication just has not been the way they need it to be. And so he's been fired up. He's shown a different disposition on the sideline. I'll tell you right now, Bo Nix is as well.
Wow.
You know, that is not his normal mentality, Kevin Steele. It takes a lot to get him that fired up.
Usually things are under control. I mean, this is his 5th year at Auburn as a defensive coordinator, and I think they've been about as consistent as far as points per game as maybe anybody in the country. You put him up there with Brent Venables.
So the grounding penalty, no one in the area for Bennett, so it's 2nd and 25. And they hand it off inside to McIntosh. Tyrone Truesdell on the stop.
I think Bennett thought he was outside the tackle box when he threw that ball, but it wouldn't have mattered anyway. It was the right call by the officials. But whatever Kevin Steele said, he clearly challenged his defense. They've responded.
Defense had to replace a lot of alphas. We talked about that. But Auburn just expects to reload. They don't expect to look like this on defense. They don't expect to be manhandled by anybody. They can't contain Jackson. That won't please Steele. He gets free. It looked like it was going to be penned in instead of first down at the 45.
Yeah, the whole plan here when you run this screen is for you to be able to catch the ball and then get underneath and behind those linemen that are pulling out in front of you. Watch the linemen get out. Now you want to catch the ball and get right behind him. It's like a convoy. And then Auburn gets themselves out of position, and he's able to get to that corner. Remember, a high school quarterback is very dangerous after the catch.
Kearis Jackson, a breakout night. 9 catches. Dajin Edwards is in there. More fresh legs, the true freshman. And his first carry produces a couple yards.
A week. What a difference a week makes for Georgia. Came in this week. People talked about JT Daniels, the USC transfer, possibly being the starter after he got cleared. People didn't know if they might go back to Dewan Mathis, the freshman who struggled a week ago but is very talented, or would they go to the former walk-on Stetson Bennett, who kind of righted the ship a week ago in the second half, and see if he's the guy. And I think all those questions are now going to go away as 13 has emerged as the starting quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs, a lifelong dream of his.
Gone away for now. It's a week-to-week thing in college football, right? That position. I agree with you. I mean, Kirby said, listen, we're not looking for a rotation. We're not trying to get multiple guys snaps. This is what he hoped would happen. Bennett would start, look good, and just take over the job.
Yeah, and it's just he's the right fit for this offense right now that needs a quarterback that's going to be decisive. He's going to be consistent with his decision making. He's going to be accurate, got enough athletic ability that when this line has some problems, he can get away and buy time. I just love his consistency with his demeanor and his approach. Like I said, he plays with a chip on his shoulder, and I think this offense feeds off of his energy and his attitude.
I love what he told us. Listen, I know I'm not the guy that Georgia fans want to see play quarterback, but I'm going to go in there and show him what I've got, and he has tonight. On the slant. And the pass,
I mean, like that right there.
Caught by Robertson.
That pass is very easy to just whatever, big deal. But you know what? On third down and 5, receiver runs the right route, comes across the middle, right at the sticks. The ball is thrown exactly where his receiver Robertson can make a catch, and he keeps his body away from the defender. It's a first down. Keeps the drive alive. Allows you to work the clock more and more. So it's just the little things that he's doing that I think are exceptional.
Yeah, he thought his strengths were command of the offense, pre-snap stuff, and accuracy, and he showed both of those things tonight. He's rolling right and flips it underneath, and that's McIntosh on the run. Takes a big shot, knocked down at the 30. Another first down. Off to Matt Berry.
A second week in a row, Oklahoma is on the ropes, and Jack Trice is loving it. Xavier Hutchinson, 64-yard touchdown. Cyclones have the lead, and the Bears' Big 12 pick is kicking. 23-20 in the third.
Matty, second week in a row in the second half. The Sooners.
Ended up inside to Milton. Slips a tackle, still going. And they never did bring him down. He finally runs out of bounds inside the 20.
I think they got a hold on the right tackle. Condon, 75.
Bennett, by the way, flexing his hand the last couple of plays.
Yeah, he has.
And that's been a tough night. They're just trying to help KJ Britt to his feet.
Offense, number 75. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains first down.
One of the senior leaders of this defense got the helmet off. You said he's been off and on the field, obviously trying to play through some pain, but hasn't been right tonight. And this defense has missed his contribution. Take a break.
Ford.com.
Watch the hit on Bennett's right arm. This was the slant completion on third down. Hall comes in or hits him, he was shaking his hand out for a couple times. Boom, yeah, on the elbow there. And he's been trying to test the grip in the right hand and throwing the ball in this time.
After he throws, he looks down, kind of trying to, sort of like a funny bone, kind of where you're just kind of shaking it, trying to get it to loosen up, flexing it a little bit, but he's still out there.
Still out there. Milton is the back. Avoided mistakes tonight. He's been clutch on third down. And he's been helped by a powerful running game tonight. 1st and 20 after the hold. Milton inside. Stopped by Newkirk.
Yeah, that was a nice play. He got off the ball quick. I thought we'd be calling Daquan Newkirk's name a lot more tonight. You know, he tore his Achilles back in 18 and then backed it up in 19 with another torn Achilles, and he would tell you he was heavy, wasn't able to get back into shape. He played through those seasons, but this is the first year he's been healthy, dropped some weight much quicker, and with the loss of Derek Brown to the NFL, 44 is a guy this year that they're hoping can be a playmaker in the middle.
You feel for a guy like that. 2 Achilles, those are nasty injuries, one on each side.
Especially, you know, your get off and your explosion, so important. Those defensive linemen.
2nd and 19. They feed Edwards behind a bunch of blockers. You know, Kirby Smart as a player here at Georgia took on Auburn 4 times. He was 2-2 in those games. They were reminding him of his heroics. He had a big interception, a big game, and a victory over Auburn. He says, they all run together. Kirby was a player on the team for Georgia the very first time College Game Day visited Athens.
Yeah.
In '98 against that great Tennessee team that went on to win the championship. We were set up at the bookstore just outside the end zone to our left down here, and Kirby was a player in that. Not to make us feel old. But,
yeah. I remember the field had a lot of athletes. Champ Bailey.
Oh yeah.
T. Martin and that team that, as you said, went on to win the national championship. Jamal Lewis, Peerless Price.
Better as a coach. Muschamp, by the way, tried to get to, Kirby trying to get to 5-1 against Auburn as a coach. There he is, old Kirby, late 90s.
There's one.
Now this is not a highlight. He got trucked right there. He just got run over. No, he makes up for it. He makes up for it.
Did you put that in there?
Here it is. Here's the interception.
Show his play. There you go.
As one-handed.
That's typical. He was typical you.
No.
Lead up a great story. Hey. Make sure you put the one in.
No, it's not me. But that's journalistic. He was 2-2. It's not all good against Auburn. At Lesney out there. And not hot rod, but hot pod. And that one drifted, hooked it wide left. So first miss of his brief career, but the lead is still 21. 8:06 to play.
ESPN College Football is presented by PlayStation 5. Play has no limits.
That's a moment forever immortalized in Georgia history as Uga 5 went after Robert Baker's nether region down there in that wild quadruple overtime win. Uga can't be here. For some reason, the SEC feels that 5 mascots on the field are not going to be allowed in 2020. I'm not really sure that keeps people safe. He's down there in Savannah at home, missing this one out. So shout out to Uga.
Yeah, we missed a big fella. Usually he's here. He's got his doghouse. They got the ice in there for him, the air conditioning. Got him all set up.
Humans in costumes are still not prohibited. Nix on the run as he has been, just backpedals and flips it up. Bixby's got a long way to go to back to the line of scrimmage, and he just does make it. Picks up a yard before Monty Rice tracked him down.
That was a lot of work.
Here you go, young fella. Just take the ball. Make something happen.
A lot there for a 2nd and 9. You know, he trusts his young back to be, instead of throwing it away, maybe he'll make a play.
Williams not in the game on the sidelines. Just has not been a factor tonight. Does have the longest Auburn play tonight, a 20-yard reception. Nix on the run, fires short. They had 5 pass plays at Schenker, the tight end. 5 pass plays at 20+ last week. They just have 1 play tonight of 20+ yards. So no runs on the young season of any distance.
No, that's a big part of this offense, whether it's Chad Morris calling the plays or Gus Malzahn. I mean, obviously you need to have balance. You need to be able to run the ball and need to be able to complement one another through the run, through the pass. And so far, these first couple of weeks, that's not been the story. It's easy to look at the skill guys, but it all works together. It's like a jigsaw puzzle. And that offensive line, they're going to have to grow up if they're going to have any success in the SEC. Look at Georgia, all their defensive linemen standing up.
Play clock winding down, and a whistle before the snap. It was a close call. Whether or not they got the timeout call, Malzahn saw it was sprinting down there, and he does have to spend a timeout to avoid an even third and longer play.
First charge timeout of the half. Auburn.
Take a break. We'll talk about what lies ahead for the Bulldogs. They get Tennessee coming in here next, and then a visit to Alabama soon.
Knowing who we are.
Tomorrow morning, Sunday NFL Countdown. Randy Moss is going to rank the best catches from today's college football action. That's a nightmare for DBs. You just don't want to be shown that Randy getting mossed. And on Monday night, Lambeau Field, 3-0 Packers hosting the Falcons. After the timeout, 3rd and 8 for Auburn, and now another flag and another flinch. It started out penalty prone, and it's continued throughout the night. Just a very rough evening for the guys up front in white.
False start. Offense. Number 56. 5-yard penalty. Remains
Tayshaun
3rd
Manning.
down.
Palms in the air for Gus. That's been, what else are you going to do? This was just not what he expected at all from his offensive line.
Again, it's a work in progress up front, but I don't think anybody expected to see this.
Nix needing 14. Fires a beautiful throw and a catch for a first down there by Kobe Hudson, the freshman.
Yeah, the freshman. A great ball there by Bo Nix. He put that one up and over Eric Stokes, right into the waiting arms of Hudson. 6'1", 196-pounder. I mean, with the coverage that Georgia's had, it's really taking those kind of throws to get big completions downfield.
Again, pressured, fighting for his life, somehow escapes and fires. Bigsby collects this desperation heave and is going to be tackled right near the line of scrimmage by Monty Rice.
Man, Bo Nix had to play a lot of backyard football. That's a play you make out on recess, right? I mean, you're just running around trying to somehow bob and weave and shake and look out, and you finally find Bigsby out there, and he's just trying to survive.
All that for no gain. Pressured again. Bigsby on the screen has a couple blockers out front and is going to step out of bounds in Georgia territory. First down.
A well-designed play. They went trips, 3 receivers up to the top to the right of Bo Nix. Defense kind of worked their way towards the offense's right, and then they just flip it out there real quickly. Instead of holding on to the ball, he got it out quick to Bigsby, and he had people in front of him to pick up some good blocks. They're not going to have success throwing downfield. It's going to be everything after the catch.
Bigsby, an impressive night, stepping in with Sean Shivers not able to go. Again, stop me if you've heard this before. Nix on the run, scrambling, and a desperation heave. That time lands on the grass. To Matt Berry.
Things much easier going for LSU tonight against Vanderbilt. John Emery, talented sophomore left tackle touchdown. This all Bayou Bengals in this one, 41-7. Want to catch you up on what's going on between Mississippi State and Arkansas. Woo Pig has lost 20 straight SEC games. Stops Mississippi State 4th and goal from the 7.
Wow, there's going to be a party in Fayetteville tonight, and they've earned it, man. For the last couple seasons in the SEC, trying to end a 20-game conference skid and deflate Mississippi State, which came in on a high. Nix grabbed, and he's not going to escape. Ball just thrown away in desperation. Adam Anderson, that pass rusher you talked about, had him in his grip.
Yeah, he is up and technically outside of the box, but I don't think that ball got back to the line of scrimmage.
They're talking about it.
The line of scrimmage was
left-handed.
Yeah, exactly.
He actually lost the grip on the ball.
It's got to be grounding.
It's hard to even know if the arm was coming forward. The ball kind of squirted out of his left hand as he tried to make the motion. But
intentional ground. Offense, number 10. The quarterback was outside the tackle box, but there was no receiver in the area, and the pass did not cross the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
If the receiver would have been in the area, it would have been about a foot away from him, because that was we've said he's had to rely on a lot and resort to a lot, but then the lefty throw in the grip of a defender.
God bless him. I mean, he's out there doing everything he can to fight and battle. They're down big. He's been getting pressured all night from this Georgia defense. You know, the beauty with Dan Lanning, the defensive coordinator, even told us this week on the call, is he said, I'm so used to dialing up pressure. You know, this year I don't have to do it as much. I can get pressure with 4.
To see if the passer was down prior to throwing the pass.
Yeah, they're going to review this to see if he did in fact stay off of the ground before letting this ball go.
The ball's out.
Yeah, the ball did come out. It squirted out of his hand. Lamagna checking in there. Yeah, if it's a fumble, I guess a few seconds, or excuse me, if he was down, but that immediately they're ruling incomplete.
Ball kind of, I'd love to hear what Bill has to say about this, because the ball came out of his hand to kind of to the outside of his hand. You think that ball came out? It looked like he intentionally flipped it out.
I think he wanted to pass it, but I think the ball came loose ahead of time.
Immediately.
Now the key thing, well, is he in bounds though? He's trying to get it, but he lands on the ball.
Even though the
sideline.
Official was signaling incomplete pass because the defense made a clear recovery. It could override that whistle.
Well, if a clear recovery could override that whistle, but he ends up with this thing out of bounds before he has possession. So it's going to be a forward fumble out of bounds that comes back to the same spot that the intentional grounding is enforced. The only difference, if it's a forward fumble out of bounds, start the clock. If it's intentional grounding, we go on the snap.
Intentional grounding.
So yardage isn't a factor here. But this player falls on the ball. He does not have possession till he
ball stands, so it's incomplete. Another third and very long. They need 16 here. Dogs only rush 4. Knicks immediately flush. Another one of those desperation heaves. This one's collected by DJ Williams, becoming a pattern. They lose yardage on the completion. Now it's 4th and a mile.
Ajuzari sniffed that out. Auburn's gone to that too many times. He was on the playing defensive end to that side where Bo Nix was trying to flip it out quickly. And 13, instead of rushing him, kind of sunk back in coverage, took that away.
Ojulari, one of the many Georgia defenders that has been exceptional tonight, and here comes the punt team.
You know, one thing about when SEC games are on, it's not just Georgia and Auburn fans. All the SEC fans watch these teams, and I think everybody's recalibrating their analysis on Georgia from what they saw from week 1 to week 2.
Yeah, it shows you do not overreact to week 1 after a bizarre offseason. They went on the road, got the win. Now this is the kind of Georgia we thought we were going to see this season, right?
Yep.
Playoff contender.
In the drive-through.
The Corona Premier Moment takes a look at the Dogs defense up. Crook, that front's been active, penetrating all night.
Yeah, they have taken away this running game from Auburn. 39 yards on the ground. And Bo Nix, when he's been back to throw, they have done a really good job of frustrating him, coming after him in a lot of different ways. Came up with an interception in this second half. This Georgia defense, we knew they were good, and they are playing with a ton of confidence tonight against Auburn.
That's it for Stetson Bennett in his first start, as DeJuan Mathis has come on in relief. Mathis, of course, the opening day starter, but struggled, and Bennett came on in the second quarter, so they want to get Mathis involved. He's still a very talented guy, 6'6", quarterback out of Michigan. We'll see what he can do besides handoff in this drive. Our Capital One college football rankings. A lot of idle tonight, but you did see Texas, top 10 team, fall to TCU in that dramatic game. Auburn about to drop as well. Alabama, it was 14 apiece, and then they pulled away big time against Texas A&M. Mathis, nicknamed the Deuce, he's still an important part of this team, and he still can play a role this season. See Bennett succeeding, but this is a rough and tumble league. You need more than one quarterback ready. They want to get him back mentally involved. It's pretty shaky and shaking debut for him last week.
Yeah, it was a tough thing for him to deal with. He had 6 possessions, and it really just did not go well. You know, a lot of times you look at a young guy who comes in. I think they had 6 possessions, 5 punts, and an interception. And
not all his fault.
No, that's what I was going to say. I mean, it's easy to look at him and say what was he doing, but the offensive line, the receivers, they had a lot of penalties. The tough part for him is the reality is 13 took over that second half. He's looked great tonight. For now, it's his job.
Sure.
And how do you handle that as a young quarterback?
No doubt, but they think Mathis has a lot of football to play in his Georgia career.
But in the world we live in today, it's very different. You know, a lot of high-profile quarterbacks, if they lose a job, they're gone. And you know, I think that's something that Kirby Smart and all coaches have to try to manage, is to get a guy to understand, hey, your career, you got a long way to go. You know, this is not over. This doesn't mean that Bennett has it and you'll never get it. Stay here and compete and fight and learn and get better.
Remember that JT Daniels has 3 more years of eligibility. They get Carson Beck, a highly touted true freshman, on the roster as well. So the quarterback room continues to be interesting. But you're right, Bennett, on the strength of his first start tonight, the job certainly is his for now. The ball to Milton.
Yeah, it's a remarkable story what Stetson Bennett's been able to do. 5'11", 190 pounds, came in against Arkansas and just kind of played just well enough to get them going, and I think created some confidence, not for himself, but I think the rest of the team around him. See what he did tonight. And all of a sudden this offense starting to kind of find an identity. Offensive line played a lot better tonight than they did week 1. And you know, they're running the ball and they're finding other playmakers on the perimeter besides George Pickens. It's becoming a total package for Georgia.
Dogs need to run this clock out. And Milton's going to get knocked down just short. It's actually near the marker. Stetson Bennett the 4th. I said, I asked him, what's the family history there? He's very proud of it. Stetson Bennett the 1st was a bootlegger who became a preacher, like a lot of our family histories. His was colorful. Then they skipped a generation, but he's very eager to keep that family name going, right?
And he doesn't smile a whole lot. You know, he is very serious about his approach and about the big chip that he has on his shoulder, and how people are always going to look at the 5-star and this guy or that guy. Like I said a month ago, he was 5th in line. 5th in line. Even Carson Beck, the true freshman, was ahead of him, and now he's the starting quarterback for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Mathis cuts it back. Aerial coverage tonight brought to us by Goodyear. Reach the end zone. All you need is drive. Goodyear, more driven. When the clock is going to wind down, Tennessee Volunteers have the longest winning streak in the SEC, Kirk. They come between the hedges next week with some confidence and momentum. How do you see that one? A serious challenge to this Georgia team. This looks so good tonight.
Well, I love anytime Georgia and Tennessee get together, it's always a lot of fun. There's been some great games when those two teams get together, but you got a veteran quarterback in Garantano, and you got some skill that's emerging around him. More of a veteran team in Tennessee than they've been in recent years, especially at the skill spots.
Tennessee beat Missouri. They got better today on 3rd down, even in the win at South Carolina. That was a weakness. Agent Edwards is swarmed behind the line, and for Auburn, they're going to head home. They got Arkansas next, but A head-scratching performance. Well, the guys from the Plains tonight could never find the end zone. They were physically manhandled. They finished with 216 total yards. And Georgia continues to dominate. Auburn had the lead in this series until 2014, and the Dogs have wrestled it away. They are in control of this rivalry at the moment. Make it 13 of the last 16 now. It was all working. Offense, defense, and special teams. In the final between the hedges tonight, 27-6. Game was produced by Bill Bunnell, directed by Derek Mobley. For our entire crew, for Kirk and Allison, I'm Chris Fowler saying so long from Athens, and we'll take you right now to UFC Fight Night. Enjoy.
ESPN thanks you for watching this presentation of the Southeastern Conference.